Oh, we're live. That worked. We're live. That worked.
Let's see if I can see it on my end. Game as Decides is starting soon. Excellent.
Hey, look, I changed it.
You did change it. Credit.
Genius. Let's see if this is working. Where are you? There you are. That's working. Why does it go in and out like that? Oh, I know.
You're not minimizing me, are you?
I might have accidentally done that.
Okay, yeah,
Won't be
because
a problem.
minimizing will cause it to cut out.
Yeah. Whoops, that's less than. All right. Hi everybody. Tweet. Yeah, Jeff looks weird today. Anything you guys want us to talk about? I have here the Sony handheld rumors, Pixel Remaster, Evo Japan Lightning roundup. I don't know if there's anything else super crazy. Nope, no itchy today. We got Sean today.
Yeah.
What was I gonna do? All right, tweet. This ranking Sonic games thing was Sean's idea, not Jeff's idea.
No, definitely not Jeff's idea. That's why we're doing it.
He'd be entirely against it.
Yes.
I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced a lick. Do, 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 do. Across the South. Sean, why don't you talk a bit? Let's make sure our levels are good.
Hello, I'm testing. This is probably where I'll be speaking for most of the show. This is a normal speaking volume for me on this microphone.
Okay, you look pretty close to me on my meters. Chat, let me know if he sounds pretty good. I think it's good. Levels are perfect. I thought they were kind of perfect. Thank you, Napper. Pretty even.
Excellent.
Hell yeah.
Why am Oh, that's because you need to be coming through here. Here, I can record on my end too for
Ready.
the audio version. Can you give me a sound test?
Mike Minotti, sound test. This is what I'll maybe sound like on an actual. Yeah, when I get excited and a little louder.
Okay, I had to bump you back up a little bit. Hit me one more time.
Hit me one more time, baby, baby, baby. Hit me, hit me. Oops, that's just testing the
Yeah,
music.
there we go. There we go. That's beautiful. I'll just change this to -10. There we go. Where's Christian?
Yeah, he's not
I'm,
lurking like he does.
yeah, I'm relying on him to keep people entertained when we have to go to the
I'll
bathroom
keep him
midstream.
entertained.
Yeah. Okay.
I got my.
Ah, yes. The tin whistle. I've missed it. That beautiful, beautiful
There you
sound.
go. It's a little Coco for you. Will Sonic's Murder be raked? Maybe. I mean, I played it.
Oh,
You started streaming
I
it today.
started that today. Yeah. I'll talk about that when we talk about what we've been playing.
There you go.
Spoiler alert. It's fun.
Are you ready to get started?
Almost. Let me find where I put the actual tier list thingy that I'll be shooting your way so that way we can show the people visually the ranking. I'll just close all other windows since I don't need those open. See, Jeff can't stop Sonic. That's over there. Are you currently showing us right now?
No, it's the starting screen still.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I could show us.
Oh god, PowerPoint hates everything. Jesus Christ. Let me minimize that until we're ready for the game. Are you showing us?
No,
Is my stream behind or something?
no, I'm not showing us yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay. I I got that over there. I got some Sonic response. Okay, I got responses from the community. When we start doing the ranking, I'll just insert those as we go.
That sounds good.
And then should be good, I think. You want to bring us in?
Oh, I forgot to do one more. Well, we can do that between the break, actually. All right, we're going to, let's see. Let's do this. I think everyone can see us. All right, I'm going to start playing music. Sean, you are not going to be able to hear the music, so just believe
Naturally.
that it's real. Just have faith of the heart.
You got the rundown pulled up for the intro, right?
Yeah, I remember that. I can't find the rundown. Who needs that?
Wait, hang on. It's right here. It's right here.
I don't need that. I don't need it.
Oh my Jesus Christ, Mike! I swear to God.
I've done this. I've done almost 300 episodes of this show. I know what he says.
And you forgot how to do it last time.
Let's see how I go. Here we go. Ready?
God. All right, fine.
Yeah, I need silence, please. You're not going to hear the music. You're just going to have to believe in me. I want to make sure. Is this... Okay. Be quiet. We're going to start now. Welcome to the Games Mess Decides podcast for April 6th, 2023. I am your host, Mike Minotti, and with me is...
Sean McDowell.
Why do you sound so resigned? Today!
That was terrible!
It was great. I almost said game speed instead of game mess. I was a little worried, but I got it. Today, PlayStation Handheld rumors? Let's talk about that. The Pixel remasters are good now, and we are going to talk about ranking some Sonic games. But first, Sean, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Mike, especially after that intro, right?
Sorry, I didn't say it's the internet. Let's do that. I'm not saying his stupid catchphrase. That catchphrase sucks. I never liked it. He's not here. I'll say it. You're not busy. You got nothing to do. I know you. I see what you've been looking at. It's bullshit.
Listen, my internet browsing history is mine and
yeah,
mine
exactly.
You don't need to. Okay.
All right. But yeah, Sean. Yeah. So Jeff is still. He's been traveling. I know he went to Universal yesterday. I haven't heard too much from him aside from that he had a good time. I don't know any specifics. So I hope Jeff and friends had a good trip to Universal Hollywood. And then I know that they're going to DreamHack this weekend. So they have a lot of stuff going on. So, good for them. I'm not jealous at all. You know what's funny is that I wasn't jealous about anything until he sent pictures of them at a Bubba Gump. Like, I talk a lot about wanting to go to a Bubble Gump. And, that's the one thing I kind of can't believe he did without me.
How dare he, yes.
That's how I'm a little shit. Hey, thank you. Go ahead.
I don't know where this adventure is going, Mike. He's in the laundry room of a Margaritaville, last I checked. I don't know.
I don't think was he in the laundry of a Margaritaville? Do they have laundry rooms? I guess I hope so.
They have to wash something, I'd assume, right?
Hey, everyone. Thank you for watching. If you are watching this live, please hit that thumbs up button. It helps more people find the show. You can also join the Game Mess Patreon at patreon.com/GameMess. That gives you access to our secret producers channels, gives you early access to the Jeopardy shows that Sean here hosts, and to the Game Mess Game Club, which I host. We are playing The Force Unleashed this month, so that is fun. We just recorded our discussion on the Minish Cap, so that'll be being uploaded very soon.
That will be up tomorrow. It should be up tomorrow.
That was a fun one. It was a good time.
Oh yeah, that was a good discussion with everyone there. I liked it.
So we had a good time with that. But yeah, Sean, do you want to get into some of this messy stuff?
I would love to get into the messy nitty-gritty stuff of the week, Mike. Let's go.
Well, so there's this rumor floating about, and rumors are rumors. It's from Insider Gaming, which it kind of specializes in the sort of thing that we might be
Yeah.
seeing a new Sony handheld. Now, I think everybody should temper their expectations about what that means. It's not like the successor to the Vita, where it's going to have all these games made just for it. It's not even really
Right.
like doesn't even sound like a Steam Deck competitor per se. It sounds like it's mostly about remote play, cloud gaming, that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get more info about this. What do you
Okay.
think?
Well, yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, if you have followed this more than I have, but my understanding was that Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming mentioned on some stream somewhere that new Sony hardware was incoming, and he was like, "It's something no one's ever talked about yet." And some people got riled up a little bit, and then someone on Reddit said, "Yeah, it's a handheld," and I was like, Vita 2, it's coming, it's happening." And then Jeff was like, "No, no, 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 no. I've heard this rumor as well. I've heard it's a another one of those streaming handhelds that are like all the rage right now."
All right, and
That's all we know, right? I'm not
it's
missing anything.
Tom's website, Insider Gaming, says kind of the same thing, that it's going to be like a streaming based device, streaming up to
Right.
1080p, 60 FPS. It will require a constant connection to the internet. So it's not like
Which
it's not
makes
natively
sense.
playing
Yeah.
any games. And I believe they believe it's going to be like a mid 2024 project. Uh, and there's like going to be an LCD touchscreen. So these are some of the details that are part of this leak.
Right, it'll be like that. If anyone has seen the Logitech, I think it's G Cloud handheld, that's like what we're talking about here. It's going to be like an Android handheld, or probably Android. It would make the most sense. That's designed to run, PS Now, and well, if it's a PlayStation branded device, I would assume only PS Now, but maybe something else as well if they do it like. This is what I was wondering, because I don't know if it's being referred to as Sony or PlayStation. Because if it's a Sony device, it could be like Xperia something, and then they have more apps on it.
It,
But if it's
it's
PlayStation, it's probably
it
PlayStation
sounds like,
now,
because
right?
I mean it's remote play. It's not just really cloud gaming. So
Right, that
you
too.
need a
That too. I should
PlayStation
mention that.
5. Like you also have to have one of those. And we've seen with the PlayStation VR 2 how much people love expensive accessories that require having a PlayStation 5 already. I don't know. This seems a little weird to me. Like, to me, at this point, if you really want to make a new handheld system, you just wait until you can make an actual portable PlayStation 5. Whatever that means, even if it runs
Hmm.
things slightly worse. And that's why it almost feels like Microsoft's in a better position here than Sony, because they already have a SKU of the modern Xbox that is quote unquote worse, right? They have the Xbox Series S. It's not that much
Yes.
of it's much less of a stretch, anyways, to make a portable version of that than of a base PlayStation 5. So instead of that, you have to go this kind of remote play, maybe cloud gaming route. And then it's like, well, okay, am I really going to spend, so much money on one of these instead of
Right.
getting a Steam Deck or all of these other Steam Deck competitors that we're hearing about?
Yeah, and that's the thing, because when you bring up Xbox, they're like, it's important to keep in mind, because other people have discussed this elsewhere. Like, I've heard as well, like, oh, like, what if they like do something along the lines of a Series S, just like scale it down even further, which theoretically you could do, because like, look at Steam Deck, it has like the option for a fast SSD and everything. That's like possible. But it's important to keep in mind like power levels, like as in terms of literal energy draw as well. So if Xbox were to do a SKU like that, you would have a literal third SKU. You would basically be making for like the Xbox One again, but with an SSD. So yeah, that would be possible, but more of a stretch. With PlayStation, I think this is really their only way forward if they wanted to do some kind of handheld. I know some people in our chat were saying that part of the rumor might be that's only remote play, which I don't think that would be the case if they have PS Now. Even if that's what the rumor is, I don't think they would lock
Right, like
themselves to
they already
only
have
remote
a
play.
cloud gaming thing. Like, why would that
Right.
not just be part of it also?
Yeah, that makes way too much sense, especially if Microsoft is specifically saying like, sure, Logitech, you can like brand this as like an Xbox partner thing, and you can like put Game Pass in your advertisements and stuff like that.
Right. And I mean,
Yeah.
not a rumor. Part of the report, like the Derek says.
I mean, a report is a rumor.
It's yeah, it's adjacent. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
My first question, Sean, is if you so carefully place all of those plushies behind you because you knew you would be on the podcast today, and so that's adorable.
Mike, I can tell you don't watch my stream because those are always there.
Is it always that well put together? That's
Yeah,
that's
they're
impressive.
well because I don't want to touch the stack
Well,
and have
don't always
something
watch your
tumble down.
stream. I'm on your stream all the time. I don't want to hear it. You
I
can't
know
get me.
that's the funny thing. You actually are, which is why I'm surprised you never noticed those. Yeah, but like you can see the serve bot
All
and
right.
Shovel Knight and everything.
My
Yeah,
real question: How? Okay, so let's say this device is just remote play, maybe some of that PlayStation Now stuff.
yeah.
Like, how much would you pay for a device that just does that?
So here's the thing. If it's Android based and I could do other things on it as well, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I would pay like a solid $200 for it, honestly.
I
Like
was
if it's a
about to
decent
say
hardware.
200 seems like the upper limit. If
Yeah, but that's the funny thing because like Logitech's charging like 350 for theirs, which is insane in a world where the Switch exists. Like, yes, I get the Switch cannot do these remote play games, it cannot install Android apps, the box at least. But you are getting a complete gaming experience there with a cloud-centric device where the average consumer who buys one of these things is going to just stream from xCloud or whatever service. 350 is insanity, dude. Like
I
no
can't
one.
imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it's $50 off from the
So
Steam Deck. Like no.
so listen to this paragraph from the Insider Gaming report. As previously mentioned by industry insider Jeff Grubb, Sony is planning to announce its second phase of the PlayStation 5, which was in reference to its future game slate. Ironically, though, this second phase is very much true for Sony's hardware offerings with the new detachable disc drive PlayStation 5, Project Nomad, which are wireless earphones, Project Voyager, a wireless headset, and Q Lite, this handheld, all scheduled to release within a very short period. It's understood that the PlayStation 5 Pro is aiming for holiday 2024 release. Again, this is Insider Gaming has been talking about this PlayStation 5 Pro. Me and Jeff have both been kind of skeptical if that's something we believe something like that might be in development. Like there might be people looking at that. We're skeptical something like that actually sees the light of day. But yeah, so that
Yeah. Which to add my perspective on that, I would want to say that unless something has come out since uh the report, or sorry, not the report, the patent that sort of like started all this and then started like, oh, what have you heard, was a ray tracing enhanced version of the PS5, which I know when you guys were you guys entertained the idea a little bit and you were like, I
mocked
don't
the
think
idea,
they would do that.
perhaps.
Yeah, you're a big ray tracing, like ray
Just
tracing
say it.
sucks
I'm
kind
a
of
ray
person.
trace racist. Just say
You,
it.
hey, you said the word. I'm gonna drop the hard RT on this podcast. I think it's possible because ray tracing, if you know the hardware, you can. People always talk about you can't just tack on hardware. Well, with ray tracing, you kind of can because you can literally just add more ray tracing specific
You just add
cores.
more rays.
Yeah, it sounds dumb, but you kind of can to like the existing
I had to
hardware.
take your word on that guy. I never understand hardware, so if you say so,
yeah,
believe
it's
you.
not that simple. There is
Oh.
more to it, obviously, but it's like you kind of can just improve that aspect of the hardware. Like the hardware as a whole would get better as a result. Think of it as like a more extreme version of like Xbox One versus One S. How the
Sure.
One S sort of just had a newer process and therefore could just do more by default, not necessarily
I
trying
forget
to, but
about
it's
the
like,
1S.
yeah, right. Like
That's
I
a
had one for a
thing.
little bit because it's kind of cute, but like, yeah. But it's kind of something like that. So I could see two SKUs where they do like PS5 and like, PS5 is replaced by a Slim, and then they do a PS5 ray tracing. They actually just call it PS5 RT or something like that, which is like, no, you're getting the same experience, but this is for the enthusiasts. This is going to make it look really good on your nice new Sony Bravia 4K TV. Like I could see them doing something like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, despite what that overlay says, which still has Jeff Grubb's name and handle under Sean's picture there, that's Turbo Sean joining me today. Thank you so much. If you are watching live, don't forget you can send a super chat into the show, and we will answer all of those live on the air, whether they are question, comment, or insult. We will acknowledge all of those.
As we do.
Yeah, Sean, the next thing I want to talk about, and I'm very excited about this, is that Square Enix finally announced the release date for for the Switch and PlayStation 4 versions of the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters.
That's
These
right.
are remasters of the first 6 Final Fantasies. These are coming out on April 5th. And oh my god, they fixed the font.
Finally,
They
they fixed the font. It's not
fixed
it's not
the
perfect,
font.
but it's a whole hell
Oh,
of a lot
it's
better.
so
It's
much
so
better.
much better.
I mean,
Yes.
it's literally a pixelated font, and for something called the Pixel Remaster, which is a remaster of a bunch of pixel-based games, it looks so much better. It's not like tightly squeezed together like that
Right.
stupid sans serif tiny font they had before. There is
Mhm.
still some like dead space in the windows. Whatever. It is such an improvement.
Such an improvement.
Just seeing in that video, like Sean, I literally went from, you know me, I've been furious about this for like it seems like over a year now. I went
Yes.
from that to I'm probably gonna play all 6 of these again now. Like
Yeah,
that's
you
how
were very
much.
excited when well, you were streaming when you saw that, and
Mhm.
yeah, you were genuinely very excited.
I'm so because I love Final Fantasy. Like it's one of my
Yeah.
favorite series, and like it's I like all these games, 5 and 6 especially, and even like the NES ones. I 4 is the one I'm like quote unquote down on, but that's relative. It's still a good game, obviously.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like it's just the font itself. It sounds stupid that a bad font could ruin the whole thing, but a font is always there in these kind of games. It's just
Yeah, it's an
constant.
RPG. You can't run away from a font. It's literally always going to be
Right.
on screen. You're always going to be staring it dead in the face.
Right, exactly. So it's just always there. It was just going to drive me crazy. So, and there might be some other problems with the pixel remasters, whatever, but the font was just so much I couldn't get over it, and now it's just fixed. I'm so excited. Oddly enough, they haven't said if like this is like coming to the PC version, which has been out for a while. You would kind of hope so.
Right.
So but hopefully. But boy, am I excited to get these on Switch now and play. I've never played the original kind of quote unquote pixel version of Final Fantasy 3. I only played that 3DS remaster or DS
Yeah.
remaster, DS remaster.
DS. It was DS. Yeah.
Because like
Most people would over here in the West since
well, we
we didn't
never
get
really
3
had
until then.
right. That was the only version of 3 we had, and I liked it okay, but it was definitely one of my least favorite of the Final Fantasies. So I'm excited to maybe try the quote unquote original version like that. I think that'll be a lot of fun. What do you see? There's a bit of a stink because this is coming out to Switch and Switch and PlayStation. Sorry, even on
Yeah.
PC. No mention of an Xbox version, and there's some people who are really upset about it. Some people seem to be taking it personally. There's people like this is just business. It is what it is. I don't know. Do you have a perspective on this?
I think this is kind of still Japanese companies being Japanese companies, or it's like we don't see the return over here, so it's like we know there's the demand because we're putting these games elsewhere and stuff, but maybe they're just like they're looking at the numbers and like, I mean, anytime we've done this before, it hasn't changed anything. Like, why would it start now? I assume that's where their head is at for a lot of these projects, and why it's something like what Octopath 2 is now on PlayStation, but not Xbox. It's the flip of Octopath 1, right? And so
Right.
I think that's sort of where their head's at. And I don't think it's like malicious. I don't think it's like, because they have such a relationship with Sony right now, because again, they are coming to Switch and they've been on PC. They've been on mobile as well. I think it's just they just see, hey, we're not going to sell these here. Why take the risk, even if it is so small? I think that's all it is, really.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Sony or Square Enix, I mean, be kind of hot and cold with Xbox, where like
Yeah.
games like Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 15 are day and date on those systems,
Right.
or making a big deal about some.
And
a lot
those
of the games
usually
from the
are
Game Pass.
deal is usually the word there too as well, like
Yeah.
usually there's some discussions. There's Phil Spencer tweeting about how I had really good talks with the people in Japan.
Yeah, it's like work had to be done there, huh?
Exactly. It wasn't just a
Mm.
default, and it's not just Square Enix that does it. Like the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection's coming out next week. That's not on Xbox. Like there's this whole thing.
But I guess
where
that's because like I guess there's like an assumption, and I guess I kind of thought this too. Like, well, for something like a Mega Man Battle Network or these old Final Fantasy games, how hard can that really be? But I know I saw Modern Vintage Gamer MVG on Twitter saying like, that's still work, and there's
it
just
still work.
they just
Yeah.
don't see it as there's no return on investment there.
And
Like-
if there's even if it's like not a hard project, like, and they would get some return, it wouldn't be completely dead in the water. Still, I think it's just because like with the Capcom thing, to elaborate further on that, like apparently the Ace Attorney collection, which Volume 1 came out on Xbox, but Volume 2 didn't, or something like that. That was as simple as Volume 1 did not sell like for crap on Xbox. So they're just
It's
like,
right.
why bother
And
at this
obviously, like
point?
some Capcom games do well, and it's like Resident
Right.
Evil, maybe Monster Hunter, and
Yeah, those more cinematic ones. Yeah.
I know I use this word in jest a lot, and I'm using it because I don't have a better word here. But the more quote unquote weeby games just don't seem to be doing very well on Xbox. They just
We can
don't.
say it.
They just don't.
The our turn-based RPGs and all that, like they are for a more niche audience, and that niche audience is on PlayStation and Switch. So that's where they're gonna do that stuff.
Oh well. But
Oh,
hey, they fixed the font. I'm very excited.
that's what matters.
Sean, you wanted to talk about Evo Japan, the
Yep.
fighting game tournament, the Japanese version of it. What were some of
Right.
the highlights? You're a big fighting. I'm a mild fighting game guy, which compared to Jeff makes me
You're
a big
fighting
fighting
game
guy.
curious. You're getting into
fighting
it a
game
little bit more there.
Did you hear about they want to do that new series on Giant Bomb where they like try out games that they're thinking about buying and they want to call it
Yes.
Buy Curious? Very
Yeah,
funny. Big fan of
that's
that.
good stuff.
I want to play Dragon's Dogma on that. So I'm very Buy
That'd be
Curious with Dragon's Dogma.
yeah, a game that you're curious about. That would make sense. Sure, sure.
Right. I also want to kiss a man on it. I mean, I also want to hear you talk about Evo Japan, please.
Naturally, of course. So yeah, people have asked me before, if I could do a little bit of fighting game stuff around here, and so I'm hitting you with it. I can keep my words straight.
Wait, I got one very important question first.
Yes.
What do you think about the intro song to Street Fighter 4 Indestructible featuring Flo Rida?
That song fucking rules,
It
dude. I love
rips!
it. It
Sean,
rips. It's so good.
I listen to that song constantly. Still, it is my get pumped song. I was so mad when it wasn't in Super Street Fighter 4 or Ultra Street Fighter 4. I was like, what the hell is this? That song gets me jazzed like nothing else. Good on you. You're A-okay, Sean.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Mike, when me and the boys were down in Chicago for Combo Breaker last year, we were at the hotel and, we're coming out. And what do when we get in the car and we're just driving to the event? I put on Indestructible. We're singing at the top of our lungs, baby.
Nothing's gonna stop
great.
me now. Let's go.
Indestructible. Oh, so
I love
good.
it.
Anyways.
Were you happy, by the way? Were you happy? Like I made sure I had to push back against Jeff a little bit that Street Fighter 4 was in our best of the 4
right,
series.
yes, that was recent. I appreciate that because it deserves a spot because fighting games were dead.
They were dead. And I get that Jeff
dead.
maybe isn't like super aware because he's not a big fighting game guy. To him,
Right.
like maybe he wasn't aware just how dire that situation was pre Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, it was Smash and Mortal Kombat were the only things that existed.
Even Mortal Kombat was like Mortal Kombat versus DC at that time.
Yeah,
right?
they had to experiment a little bit.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Like
stuff.
you were still getting the King of Fighters games that were releasing and stuff like that, but like casual fighting games were dead. The FGC was in a bad place.
Oddly enough, we were getting like Blaze Blue at this time. Oddly enough, out of nowhere. But yeah,
it was around
niche,
when
though.
Street Fighter 4 hit. Like they sort of came up together, but yeah, it was all niche at that point.
Over Vermilion. I like berets. You know me, Joe Valentine.
I know
beret.
you and your berets, yeah, like Cammy.
Also, like Noelle doesn't have the beret in some things, and I'm like not interested anymore. I'm like, nah, get her hat.
That's
back
funny.
up.
I like Noelle better when she doesn't have the beret. Like I play her in the last one, which is jeez, Blaze. What is the name scheme? Chrono Phantasma or whatever.
Chrono Phantasma 358.
358 over 2. Yeah, in Central Fiction, she's the no beret version. I like her in there a lot because she like twirls her gun. She like spins it across the ground like Sonic spinning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, but what about Evo Japan?
Yeah, the news for the week, I'm going to hit y'all with a lightning round in case you're not big into the fighting games because there wasn't a lot of news anyways. So, Mike, feel free to stop me if there is something you want to talk about.
Sure.
SNK had most of the big news where KOF 15 had a couple of character announcements. Where I actually forgot to write down who the first one is because they're coming out they're out tomorrow or something like that. So yeah, it's some.
When I was at Galloping Ghost,
yes,
at one point they thought I got lost. But what I actually happened is I discovered an Neo Geo hallway, and it had Samurai Showdown 5 or 6. It was like the
5,
one. It was like the last one.
Yeah.
And I found some lady with a bow and arrow, and I played her like basically through the arcade mode and loved it. Is she in anything these days? Because I liked her a lot.
A bow and arrow.
She was a
I'm not
bow and
sure
arrow
who that would
lady
have been.
in Samurai Showdown. Mina, says Seraphiski. Yeah, I think that's right. I liked her a lot. Need more Mina. I was basically just
Yeah, Mina's in the new Sam show.
nice. I might have to check that out. But
Yeah, she was a DLC character, I believe.
yeah. But man, I want to play King of Fighters 15, but I'm so scared because it's been out for so long. It'll be kind of weird getting into it now.
Yeah, it's still getting updates and everything, and this this will actually go into the next announcement. So besides the first character, Kim, thank you, Jesse. I also got Sylvie and Gonitz. Sylvie is a like intentionally annoying idol character from 14 that they
Oh
created.
no.
They changed her design in 15, so I actually like her design now. She's still kind of got the annoying vibe.
My base for idol character is in Persona 4. What's her name? Is
Rise.
Rise. Is it so like? And I don't really think she's annoying. So
no, she's not.
So hers.
We're talking
way more annoying.
Sylvie is this person who like will walk around like doing this like stomping animation because she's angry, and it's like,
oh no, does she get sharp teeth when she gets mad? I don't like the sharp.
No,
teeth.
not quite. She just does like really weird face and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, she's I don't know. I mean, her design is very like Alice in Wonderland now, though. So I think she's actually like kind of cool looking now. But she's probably still gonna be annoying.
Okay.
And then they also announced that Gonitz, a boss character from a previous game, is also coming back. So
I like when boss characters just become regular characters.
Me too. And KOF 15 is actually doing something cool where you get regular characters as paid DLC, and then you get the boss character as free DLC. So they're doing like back and forth. And then it's like if you beat the boss character, you can get them early. You can get them like 2 days early if you beat them. And so that way you can like lab with them early and stuff. It's kind of cool the way they're doing that.
Who's the most famous SNK boss character? Is it Geese?
It's
Howard?
Geese. Yeah, I mean Geese is in Tekken and everything now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's absolutely Geese. Yeah. But on the topic of King of Fighters, also speaking of 15, this is where I was going with this. If you want to try it out, 15 is getting its crossplay and it's getting its crossplay update this spring, and then Samurai Showdown is getting its rollback update because it didn't launch with rollback netcode also this spring. So the big deal with KOF 15 right now is that the matchmaking has been broken since day one. If you go to the website, is KOF 15 matchmaking still broken.com, you will get in giant red letters, yes. And it'll say like, it's been 418 days since the game release and matchmaking is still broken. And that's why I haven't been playing it. But when crossplay gets introduced, inevitably they'll have to brush that up. So that's, hey, we're looking forward to that. Also related to rollback updates and whatnot, King of Fighters 13 is getting a rollback update. So this is the last sprite-based King of Fighters, the one that they did before SNK became like a pachinko type company for a little bit there.
Is like 13 like well regarded then?
13 is very well regarded.
Okay.
It's the third strike of SNK. Like
I thought Gyro Mark of the Wolves was
Garo held that title for a long time, but it's like in modern day, it's revered in the way that like Third Strike is now for Capcom.
Interesting. So, that almost makes me, because like I have nothing against the 3D models, but you know, like something about 15, especially 14, it's like they look okay, but it's clearly not as cool as back when SNK was just smoking everybody with how great those 2D character models looks, right?
And 13 in particular is insane, the amount of effort they put in, because they knew they had to step it up. So what did they do? Mike, they modeled out the characters in 3D and rotoscoped them in freaking like 2008 or whatever that was.
Can I get that on Steam? Can I get that on Steam?
Yeah, you can get that on Steam. Here's the weird thing. The King of Fighters 13 rollback update is coming to PS4 and Switch.
Wait, not PC?
And not PC.
Oh, maybe I was just kidding on Switch then, I guess. Okay.
It's really weird because like these updates always come to PC and PS4, but not Switch because the Switch needs, because rollback requires a little more overhead. But yeah, I don't know why they're doing that. It's really weird. Hopefully they add it to the PC version as well. I did see Rivix in the chat there ask about Dragon Ball FighterZ rollback, which was another thing. They reiterated, hey, this rollback update is coming. That was announced at Evo last year.
Doesn't have rollback.
No, because they released in 2017 before Arc System Works saw the light and started putting rollback in their games.
That game is
So
that
yeah,
old now, huh?
it
Yeah.
is that old.
That
Yeah, it's
game's gonna
6 years
just
old.
that game's gonna just get a sequel at some point, right?
Oh yeah, 100% they're working on Dragon Ball Fighters too. Like that, not announced, but like yeah,
It's
they
coming.
have to be right.
Right.
Like right. But that is getting its rollback update, and that should be coming. They said I think they're also testing that in spring alongside all these SNK games as well. And then the last big thing was Tekken 8 had a couple of character announcements. So Asuka is coming back, which nobody is surprised there. She's like the teenage girl riding a bike that you might have seen in like Tekken intros. Uh, she's back. She has a new outfit. She's Asuka. Has a couple of cool new moves. It's all right. The big deal is that Leroy Smith, everyone's favorite new character from Tekken 7, is coming back,
Oh.
who practices Wing Chun, and he's like this old grandmaster kind of dude with a pit bull. He's got the drip. Everyone loves Leroy, and so he's coming back in Tekken 8. He's
Oh, I
got
did
some
see
cool
that
moves.
video. He looked cool.
Yeah, he looks so cool. Like I kind of want to learn Leroy because I don't have a character in 8 yet because I played Noctis in 7, so
Hmm.
probably not getting him in 8. So
I think I saw Maximilian dude also was playing Noctis, and it seemed like he was a really fun character. Actually, it's almost too bad he's a guest character who probably isn't
yeah,
coming back, huh?
exactly, and that's unfortunate. And then the character I played before that is Akuma. Who
Oh
knows if
shit.
Akuma's coming back? Like,
Why not?
yeah, maybe Eliza, the Akuma, but a hot vampire chick instead.
Sounds
Maybe
right.
she'll be put into the game, but yeah,
Yeah.
well, depends on
So
who you ask.
I think I told you this before. I've had such little experience with Tekken over the years, and I really want to get into it. And Tekken 8, I feel like it's just going to be this really good opportunity.
It should be the one.
Yeah, I'm ready to really dive deep into the Tekken 8.
They also had a lot of Tekken talk like surrounding and before Evo Japan. And when they talked about it with like Max and other people, they kept reiterating that they are trying to simplify things while still leaving in some of that legacy skill, which is why Tekken players like Tekken. But they know that they need to do some stuff for accessibility. So they are doing very smart things, I feel, such as you may know about the electric wind god fist that the some of the characters can do, where the way that works is if you input it's timing based, and the more accurately timed your inputs are, the more damage it will do.
Mm,
Well, that's very hard to do. It's a very high skill thing they're doing. So what they're doing is when your character goes into their heat mode, which is new to the game, it's like Instinct and Killer Instinct or V Trigger in Street Fighter Five. You're like, like I'm in a new mode
right,
sort of
right.
thing. The leniency is drastically increased on Electric Wind God Fist inputs. So like you can just do those like high damaging moves like over and over, and that's like that makes it easier for newcomers. There's also like easier inputs and stuff, but yeah, it looks good. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, if you're looking to get into Tekken, this would be the place to do so.
Do we have any idea when Tekken 8's coming out?
Next year,
Next year. Probably
not
not this year.
confirmed, but I would swear on it. It's next year.
You don't think it's this year? No
First
chance?
half. No, based on the way they're talking about the game and based on the way because this was another thing that they announced leading into this. They're doing open alpha tests, which is their way of saying they're doing location testing at Combo Breaker at Evo. You'll be able to
Uh,
go like basically behind closed door, like Presswood. But it's you can talk about it, you just can't like film it or anything because it's going to be like alpha stages and stuff, and they don't want people like sharing alpha footage online.
sure.
This game's a while off. Like it would be tail end of the year if anything. And based on Bandai Namco's release schedule, I would put my bets on like somewhere in the like April to June-ish of next year.
Okay. It feels like you want to give it a little time after Street Fighter 6 comes out
Yeah.
anyways, right?
That's another thing is fighting game developers, they're kind of all buddies. And so while you
Sure, sure.
can't, this is something Harada has actually commented on, is Harada's Bar on YouTube, which by the way, go check that out. It's fantastic. They have English subtitles on all these interviews he does with like Sakurai and other like Japanese developers and stuff. It's really cool. He said like, we'll go to the bar and we can't say anything. We can't say, hey, our game's coming out here. Can you maybe move it? But what they will do is So you guys gonna be busy around June maybe? And they'll be like, yeah, actually we're gonna be really busy around June. So they kind of all know what's going on with each other, even if
Okay.
they can't directly say it. So yeah, they might be getting out of each other's way.
Anything else about Evo Japan, Sean?
That's all the major announcements. There was some small stuff too and some results, but I won't bother anyone with that. Y'all can go check out our sites for that. Those were the heavy hitters I thought people might want to know about.
So one thing I want to talk about here before we kind of move on from our opening segments is that I
Oh.
saw the Super Mario Brothers movie last night,
What'd
which
you
with
think?
my brothers, AJ and Chris. I actually liked it quite a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's funny, like in all the ways I want to praise the movie, it almost sounds like condescending in a way. Like, wow, the references are really neat and it was really cute. But like, it's true. It's true. And I thought the same thing when I was reading people's impressions. Like, wow, there's a lot of fun references. And I was like,
Yeah.
ha, reading that makes me want to throw up. Like it sounds obnoxious. But like,
Yeah.
look, I'm not immune to it. I grew up with this character. It's in Nintendo, and like, yeah, seeing the font from Super Mario Sunshine used in like some travel agency poster, that's pretty neat. And there
Yeah.
is a lot of that, and it is fun.
But
But
Mike, what about the story? Apparently it has no story.
I mean,
Doesn't that bother you?
it has a story, and it's very rote. But I mean, that's
It's
that's
Mario.
being very faithful to Mario, I
Yes.
think, actually. So that's all fine. The animation is good. It is very Illumination, the company, in terms of the pace being maybe a
Yeah.
little too fast. Like you almost
Hmm.
wish it would slow down sometimes. The thing that bothered me the most is the amount of like contemporary music being used or like actual songs, which is
Like
again
licensed music.
like licensed music, which is
Huh, weird.
again very Illumination. And it's stupid because
Yeah.
every time that they just have the score go and the score is playing and it's just using like actual Mario songs, it's amazing. So I don't know
Right.
why they had to like do these kind of cheap gags like it's Shrek 1 from like 2000 and like whatever with like that like yeah, licensed music. That stuff was probably my least favorite part of the movie. But in general, it
Gotcha.
was good. A lot of really
Okay.
good performances. Peach and Bowser are very good. I
Yeah.
I'm almost glad Jeff's not here. I think Chris Pratt did a good job.
Mike, I'm glad Jeff isn't here because from all the trailers I've seen, since I haven't seen the movie yet, I think Chris Pratt's portrayal is perfectly fine.
It's like I feel like a lot of people say it's fine because they're afraid to say it's good because people yell at them. I think it's good. I like
I'm not sure I would go that far. I'm not
I
sure I would
think
go
it's
that far.
good. I think he did a good job,
Yeah.
actually. So, but there it is. But I think everyone did a good job. The one character I was a little like iffy on the portrayal was actually Cranky Kong. Like that,
Really?
it was I don't know the
That's
Fred.
Fred Armisen, right?
Yeah, he was going for a very specific thing. It's very strong, and maybe it was a
Mm.
bit much, but it's fine.
Well, it's Fred Armisen, so that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
There's a lot of things that go to specifically what I liked, but that's kind of spoilery, and this movie is still very new. A lot of people are going to see it, so I won't go into
And this is a
specific.
Mike and Sean podcast. We respect spoilers around
Yeah,
here.
I know. Yeah, we don't have Jeff here to be like, spoilers are
Spoilers
good,
are
actually.
good.
I think Jeff did a rundown of the script like 8 months ago or
Yeah,
something.
he read the script
I
as
was
a
like,
lead
well, I'm
on.
not
He
going to
just
listen to that, you crazy person. Oh, God bless Jeff. But I had a very good time. I also want to say though, like I had a good time. Like some people are really mad at movie critics, like what the Rotten Tomatoes is like a 53 or something. Guys, who cares? It's
Who
fine.
cares? Just
Don't
go
worry.
see it if you want to see it.
As somebody
you know.
who's been yelled at before because like my critical opinion didn't align with like consumer consensus, like don't that doesn't matter. You don't have to
Right.
like yell at critics or the more it's more than yelling at critics. People want to yell at the nebulous idea of critics. Like what are you
Right.
even mad about? Like of course some movie critic who maybe played a couple Mario games, this isn't going to mean as much to them, right? Like we don't need to get mad about that. It's fine. Of course, and again, it's like that thing where some people are like, well, this is a movie for fans. And again, I want to puke when I read that, but there is truth to that. Like this is obviously a movie made for people who like Mario a lot and kind of
But
already know
isn't
what they're
that
getting into.
ideal? Because like kids aren't gonna give a crap. They're just gonna be like, "Ooh, Mario," and then the references are there for the adults to be like, "Hey, don't worry, we got you guys. We
Hmm.
know, we know."
Right.
Like, I think that's the best of both worlds, personally.
Because I was excited for the movie, and I'll admit when I saw that Rotten Tomatoes, I was like, oh, maybe I should lower expectations. And then it was what I expected. It was just this very fun romp with just a lot of cool moments, just a good time. A roller coaster ride in both good and bad ways. Good in that, hey, roller coasters are pretty entertaining. Bad in that roller coasters are very fast, sometimes too fast for me.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
an hour and a half, which seems like
right. Even just
you
5
could
more
the
minutes.
pacing, yeah, the pacing like affects it a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, just to let things breathe a little bit, sure. But
Yeah.
I had a very good time with it. I think most people are going to enjoy it quite a lot. So I think
All
it's
right.
going to be a big hit. Again, so you don't have to worry about what critics say. It's going to do well. There will be another one. I promise you
Oh
that.
yeah. If it's making money, you better believe it.
Absolutely. All right, Sean, why don't we take a little break? When we come back here, we got a couple. I think we have a game to play,
We do.
and then we're going to do a ranking of Sonic games because Jeff's not here
Yep.
to stop us.
Let's party.
Absolutely. And we're also going to read super chats eventually. Everybody, if you want to bring those in, we'll be reading those soon. Thank you all so much. We will be right back. All right, I'm going to the bathroom, Sean. You can entertain the people. Good
Oh,
luck.
all right.
Yeah,
Hi, chat.
great.
Chat, how you doing? You got any questions just for Sean? I'll answer them right now. Free Q&A for y'all. Last play Sonic CD, you get the hell out of here, Brian. You know. Tetris movie rules? All right, that's good to hear. I heard very mixed things about it, but I know Jeff thought it was pretty all right. He was saying that was like a political thriller or whatever, just, with Tetris as the backbone. So, hi, Firehair. Good to see you there. How did I become Turbo, Sean? Well, you see, when I was just a boy, I was hit by a bolt of lightning that fell off of Sonic's shoes as he was running. No. Um, I was trying to create a username for myself a while back, a few years ago now, and I was like, what was like an adjective slash noun related to like arcade culture and the FGC that I like and isn't really used by other people? And I was like, Turbo, like Street Fighter 2 Turbo, like the Midway sports games, like racing games. Turbo, that works. So I've been Turbo Sean since. Why not Mega Sean? Mega Turbo, Jesus Christ. Why not Mega Sean? I'm not only about the Nintendo stuff. That just makes me think of Mega Mushrooms. Like I know Mega Man, but like Is Nick Turbo my brother? In spirit. In spirit. There's rumors of a Pirate Bay movie in the world. If it's anything like what, The Social Network, that could be interesting, I suppose. No, I'm sure they would over dramatize it too much though. Best Sonic OST and why is it Colors? I mean, it's Generations, but that's cheating. Outside of that, I would probably say Colors is very good. I have plenty of Color stuff on my music playlist when I'm streaming. I'm sure a lot of people will know that who watch my stream here at least. Uh, but otherwise, 3 and Knuckles. It's hard to go against that. Beef Hammer, the Estranged, is asking, is it true your favorite video game movie is DOA Dead or Alive? Not even remotely. Um, what is my favorite video game movie? Like, I guess Pokemon, if you count that, like Pokemon the third movie. But otherwise, like in the more traditional sense, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, is very, very good. Why was it called the Holy Roman Empire if it was neither holy nor Roman? Because Catholics write history.
Why are you talking about history?
Don't worry about it. I was
Uh,
entertaining the chat.
all right. Why don't we see how am I going to share this? Why don't you get this thing up here? Share for.
Sure. Am I not still streaming? Did I take that down? I might have taken that down.
I don't know. Let me see.
Uh,
I don't think so. Yeah, I took that down.
let's see. So I need to put this in presenter mode. Fair warning, I probably can't see anything while I do this.
Okay.
I don't think, yeah.
We'll take
So
care
I'm
of chat. I'll take care of them. And if that sounds like a threat, it's because it is.
Sounds about right. Here, I'll put this on my second screen so I can see how it turned out.
Yeah, give me a second here.
Oh no, it's small. It's the three ways. You could just like put it over that. We can do it out the border on the bottom one, I guess.
Was that too small? This border.
Yeah, because I'm gonna do everything in
Give
widescreen, so you can just overlay it.
me a second here. Oh, I see. Give me a second, everybody, because we're gonna take a little funsies. Yeah, I see. Okay, yeah, I'll just put over everything.
Ah,
Okay,
it's Discord.
give it a second. Give it a second.
All right, all right.
Like this. Wait, but then like this. See, I can do things. I can.
You can do things. You know how to
I can
stream.
OBS.
You can OBS. I'm proud of you, Mike. I believe in you.
I don't know how I'm gonna get your face back in here, but we'll figure that out in a second.
Yeah, you can just duplicate that and then grab my tiny one. That'll be good enough.
All right, fair enough. Jealousy turning
Saints into the sea.
turning through sick lullabies.
Good song.
Alibis, but that's just the price I pay. Destiny is calling me. Open. This is gonna be a very small thing of your face. Let's see how this looks.
Oh yeah, why is it so small on your end? You can like I think you can adjust the size?
You know, it doesn't look terrible.
You know what? That's okay. That gets the gist across,
It's
yeah.
good enough.
No, like legitimately. That looks shockingly good. You know?
Yeah.
That looks all right. We'll take that. We'll
So,
take that. And
yeah, a second. Let me move you a little bit down, maybe.
then just put yours behind the thing and we'll be good.
All right. Put what behind the thing? Oh, me? Ah, we
Yeah,
should have this thing in front of me, don't you think? I can move it down a little bit so like neither
No, your
overlap.
camera is in front of the overlay. You need to put it behind
Oh, you're correct. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you upset about? There we go. And this needs to be up here.
it. There you go.
Look at that. We can OBS
We can OBS.
if we
We
want
don't
to.
need Jeff.
We can leave your friends behind. If their friends aren't friends, and if they can't dance, then they're no friends of mine. All right, we're gonna bring us back in here.
Okay.
Let me move you up because I have your border here, and you can see it light up every time you talk.
Okay, I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want
Well, because Jeff does that sometimes in it. Let's see. Wait, no, not that.
Yeah, I know. I added Jeopardy. Don't worry, I'm aware.
You know, Jeff does those things.
Yeah.
That's triggering something in me. All right, you talk.
Hello, testing,
we can't see
testing.
any
I'm
more
triggering
green.
that
We're
green
good.
stuff. All right, we're good. You bring us in?
All right, I'm gonna bring us in.
Okay.
Why is it doing that? Okay, that's fine. And we are back. Thank you again, everybody who's watching live. Again, if you can hit that thumbs up button, we appreciate it. We've got a few super chats in. We are going to read those later. If you want to send in more, please do. We appreciate it very much. But right now, we are going to play closest to the Messy Pin, our favorite retro Metacritic game. This is a Bop original. Sean, you take the reins on this usually anyways, but this time you get to play.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be doing both tonight because, I'm going to be hosting and playing tonight. I'll be playing in a spot of Jeff tonight. Don't worry, I have not seen the scores. I never look at the scores, because I don't want to spoil things for you and Jeff. I also don't know the games, so I don't know. I'm going in this blind. I don't know what bot prepared for us tonight.
Okay.
This is gonna be an interesting ride. We'll see.
All right, I'll take your word at it that you're not cheating, I guess.
The rules are if this is anyone's first time, that it is a Metacritic score guessing game, like Mike said. The idea is that we want to be as close to the Metacritic score as possible. As far deviated from as you are, you will gain a point. And it's golf rules, hence the golf pun in the title, where we want to be as close to the number as possible, so the lowest score at the end. To incentivize you to guess the exact score as you see it in your mind as closely as possible. If you guess it dead on, instead of getting a 0, you will deduct 5 points from your overall score. So high risk, high reward. It's going to be fun. Mike, we need to decide who will be picking first because we are not going to play a just stupid rule tonight. We cannot double up on a score. We need to do
Yeah,
different
I'm
scores.
glad. Yeah, both of us don't like that rule. That's stupid.
All right.
Yeah, shit, I
So
tied with Jeff
here's
last time, so I didn't win or lose.
here's how we're going to do it. Here's how we're going to do it. Close your eyes.
Okay.
All right. I flipped a coin. I'm going to show it to the chat.
Okay.
Just to prove that I'm not lying.
Is this another stupid Pokemon coin?
It's
or
a
something?
die. Chill out. Okay.
Oh, God,
Mike,
die.
just tell me. Just tell me heads or tails.
You want me to say even or odd instead?
Either one.
Even.
All right. You can open your eyes. It is a 5/tails.
That's my favorite even number.
So I will be guessing the first score on Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
The Dreamcast version. Okay.
The Dreamcast home port released June 29th, 2000. This is based on 22 critic reviews. Oh, man. I'm not sure I want to explain my reasoning here since this is such a me title. I mean, granted, you're a big MVC2 fan as well.
I am.
So you
know.
know.
I loved my Dreamcast. I think this is the game I played on my Dreamcast the most.
Me too, probably. Either that or Power Stone too, because I had friends over and we did that. I'd stuff Smash sometimes.
I love this game.
So good. That being said, my prediction for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I'll explain my reasoning afterwards. I'm gonna say 87.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I was gonna say 88 because yeah, that's what was in my heart. I know it's very close to yours because even though this was at a time where like 2D games, even 2D fighters were like it had a harder time getting appreciation from critics. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 got a lot of love. It just stood out immediately. It was something special. It's giant roster. It's really like, it's kind of standout aesthetics, background, soundtrack, all of this stuff. Even back then, I remember critics did like it.
Right.
So I think it is in that upper 80s.
Despite the fact that there was a slight third strike effect where people didn't cling to certain aspects of it right away because they were like, oh, it's an asset dump of sprites on a 3D background.
Right. Like I remember
what's the music all about and everything like that.
Like some of the characters, like more like some of the Darkstalker characters especially, like looked weird compared to say Ruby
that Morrigan
Hearts.
sprite that's been in absolutely everything.
It's rough.
It's rough. But content is king. This game had content. I think people still really liked it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And that being said, the score for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the Dreamcast on Metacritic is currently sitting at 90. Wow. People really did like it. All right.
Good. That's awesome. All right.
Good on you, Metacritic. Good on you, reviewers.
Yeah, you got this one right.
It's a good game.
What was the one I was furious about last time? I think it was Mirror's Edge 1.
Mirror's Edge. Yeah, 79.
Mad.
Basically an 8 out of 10. That's like, yeah, I think that
Don't
sounds
want to hear it.
right.
Don't want to hear it.
All right. Game number 2, Mike, is your pick. You were guessing on Mega Man Battle Network 3 White.
Oh.
Sorry, Sean. Blue was not available. Thanks, Bob. On the Game Boy Advance, release date June 24, 2003, based on 16 critic reviews. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2 and 1, just like Blue or White, and they just put it under 1.
This is interesting because I know that pretty much everyone says this is the best in the series, and yet I bet a lot of critics were already kind of a little over it at this point. So I'm not going to go super high. I'm not going to go low. I'm going to say I bet this one had like an 82.
Mike's going 82 here. So since I'm going second, I explain my reasoning right away. The Battle Network fatigue didn't really kick in until like 4. And 3 was such an improvement over 2, which was already an improvement over 1. I think critics probably did like this one quite a bit. But that being said, Battle Network never did super well critically. People always thought it was like, yeah, these are really good. Not amazing, but they're like super solid. And I think that's, that's fair for most of them. And even for the best one in the series, I'm going with an even 80. I think it did very well, but not like wait. Even 80. I know how to
Well,
count.
this was still at a time where even just Mega Man in general, people were like, "Oh, there's so many Mega Man games," which
Yeah.
is funny now because we're starved. But
Yeah, exactly. But when you had X and Zero and Battle Network, and even Legends was finishing up a couple years
yeah,
earlier, like I can see why some people are starting to get worn out. All right. That being said, Battle Network 3, white, but probably Battle Network 3 in general, is currently sitting at
yeah.
77. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
that's what I thought. Right,
Right.
or like solid, but not incredible.
Okay, that puts you in the lead now. Interesting.
Puts me in the lead by 1 point. Yes, Mike has 7, I have 6 for the audio listeners there. And I will be picking next on game number 3, Star Fox Command. I'm sensing a trend here. Released on Nintendo DS, August 28th, 2006, based on 56 critic reviews. Star Fox Command.
You played
I,
this
I I
recently.
don't. I did play this recently. Yes, Star Fox series playthrough that I did on my Twitch, and then I'm putting it up on YouTube. Plug plug. I My feelings on this game, I feel, are fairly different than the average person at the time, but cohesive with the feelings of it overall nowadays, which is that I don't think this is a spoiler to say this to you and your guess. Very divisive, I feel like. Whereas it clicked with some people, and some people think it's complete trash. So I think this one's actually trickier than maybe you would initially think. You might initially think like, oh, no one likes Star Fox Command, right? Like, no, I think some people did like it because some people do refer to it fondly if the touch controls did click with them. But I think still overall, the negative outweighed the positive. I'm saying 78.
My recollection is that initially people thought this was something of a return to form because this is
Yes.
following those two GameCube games that were very divisive. This game
Right.
is there was some strategy stuff, but it's mostly just you are in an R wing shooting things, and that initial reception was actually pretty positive. I
Right.
think I think it kind of quickly mellowed out as time went on, but at first people were into it. I'm gonna go higher. I think this is more like in uh 83.
83. Okay, so yeah, a decent amount higher than me, but not like crazy higher. Okay, 5 points off. It's within the realm of we're kind of on the same page with this. I feel. All right, Star Fox Command, an interesting Nintendo DS title, is currently sitting at
Shit.
76.
Fuck me.
Yeah,
Dang it. Dang
the
it.
Mike gets 7 points added to his score there. I get only 2. So
Oh,
Mike
that's
has
rough.
14 points. I have 8. I am leading there with a 6 point lead. Ooh, I
That's
don't know,
messing me
Mike.
up. Yeah, that's a rough one for me. That's one of the biggest hits I've ever taken in this game. I was off.
That is pretty big, yeah. But we still got 2 more games left, and I think you might be able to pull it back here if you
We'll
can get
see.
one exactly
I
correct.
gotta
We'll
get one
see.
of these exactly correct to help.
Gotta get in the zone. All right, you're picking first next on Metroid Zero Mission, the best 2D Metroid game, released on the Game Boy Advance, February 9, 2004, based on 50 critic reviews.
Hmm. Yeah, people did like it a lot. There's still a little bit of like a Game Boy Advance curve where it seems like Game Boy Advance games weren't maybe rated as well as they should be. Man, this is hard. This is very hard.
Bless you.
I feel like today people would just rate this in the 90s almost automatically, but I feel like it was more like in the high 70s. I want to say I want to say between two numbers right now. I'm going to say 88.
88. Okay, that's actually higher than I was thinking you were going.
Okay.
So my recollection of this game at the time was that it was extremely well received because people were like, "Oh, hey, Metroid 1 is good now."
Yeah.
Um, and like people liked Fusion, but a lot of people agreed it was chatty, and this just cuts out all of
Chatty and
that.
it was short, and this is much less chatty and longer.
Yeah, a little longer, not by much, but like it's a little longer, yeah. Um, I think this scored mostly 90s, but some people gave it some 8s because, like you said, Game Boy Advance curve a little bit there. I am gonna price is right here a little bit. I'm gonna go 87.
Okay, I was thinking 87 or 88. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think it's right around there. I think we
I need to get
we
this
know
right
what's
on
up.
then, because I can't
That's
have this
right.
go
That's
over the
right. That's
improvement
gonna be
on
big if
you.
you do.
Let's see it.
The score is
Oh, so
89. It was
close. That's
higher.
so
So
close.
close.
That's closer.
Dang.
That helps a little bit, but not enough.
Well, the
Okay.
gap is only 5 points now.
Okay.
So if you can knock 5 off with a correct guess and then I get points on the board, you actually will win.
We'll see.
Let's
We'll
see.
see.
I'll be picking first on game number 5. I can't imagine what kind of game it'll be. Game number 5 is Pokemon Puzzle League. The theme continues. These are all very much me games, if anyone doesn't know.
This is incredible. I love
Nintendo
it.
64 release date September
Well, that's
1st,
why you're winning then. I feel better.
2015. Correct reviews. Yeah, well,
Can
I
I
mean,
just want to say
you
that
know.
this has been far and away the Nintendo 64 game I have played the most on NSO. I
Mm,
played so much of this. It was great.
this is probably the Nintendo 64 game I played the most outside of the fact that I speedrun Mario.
So
Like, I love this game.
I did like beat like the hardest mode and the hardest like Mewtwo fight, but I was using save states like crazy. Not to like
Uh,
save in the middle of matches, but so I didn't have to like play through the whole thing again is what I mean. But
right,
I
right.
still
That's
was able to
fair.
do it. But yeah.
Yeah,
Uh
I want to try the hardest mode because I played through hard mode on stream one time, and it took me a while, but I got there and it was a lot of fun. So I want to try the hardest difficulty. Pokemon Puzzle League is an interesting one.
yeah.
Puzzle games usually don't review super well outside of like Tetris, and this is specifically based on the Pokemon anime, one of the only games to do so. Then Snap. So maybe people like wrote it off a little bit. I know it's Pokemania at the time, but maybe they wrote it off a little bit for being a like, tie-in game of sorts. This one's actually really tough. The gameplay is really solid. There's decent amount of content. I think I think okay, I have a couple ideas of why this might be a case. I think for some reason my mind keeps coming to 79. I
Interesting.
I'll let you pick first, and I'll explain why.
I think it's higher, but
Guess
not a
I.
whole lot.
Okay.
I keep thinking between 83 and 84.
Okay.
What's great is that that's enough of a gap that it could help. Like, this is gonna be close. I don't think you're that far off, to be honest, because I think there was a bit of a puzzle game thing. Like, there's some
Yeah.
aspects of the presentation that can maybe feel cheap to people. There's a lot of things that are just like JPEGs in this game, right?
Yes.
But it's just so much fun that today who cares? But back then, sure. I'll say 83.
83. Okay.
This is very similar to our spread on Star Fox Command, by the way.
Yeah, it is. So I think it was probably docked for actually audio stuff. The voice lines could probably get annoying to some people. I think in a
Way to
2,000
go!
reviewer's mind, yeah, exactly. Like I'm feeling giddy all the freaking time. I think that probably like dragged it down for quite a few people. Combined with the music, which is just like MIDI versions of To Be a Master tracks.
I
I
love
think
that.
that
I love that to be a
I do
master album.
too.
Make it
I do too.
prepare for trouble. Make it
Make it
double to
double.
protect the
Yeah.
world from devastation. To unite all peoples within our nation. To denounce the
Sing it,
evils
Mike.
of truth and love. To extend our reach to the stars above. There you go. Jesse James
Yep.
out. Oh, so good.
You got it. But did you get the score for this exactly right? Which is basically what you need to win here.
Yeah.
Mike, Pokemon
Let's see
Puzzle
it.
League is currently sitting at
Let's see it.
81.
Oh my God. It was right between our. This wasn't it. It's
Right
in
between us. We both got 2 points, which means final scores Mike 17, Sean 12.
I got
Sean takes it.
I got really ruined by Star Fox Command. Good stuff. Good. Congratulations.
Good
Sean.
game.
It's a
Good game. Yeah, thank you. GG's.
Good stuff there.
All right.
All right. Well, that was fun. I think the next thing here is actually that we are going to go right into. Oh, that's completely messed up. We'll just stay on this one now. So we're going to go into your thing. Are you going to share a screen for that too? You said you wanted to do that.
Yes, I will. Once I get this set up, I'm actually going to take a small break if you don't mind.
Well, let's take a break, everybody. We'll be right back, and we're going to rank some Sonic games.
Let me see. I got the window pulled up here so I can change that to. Oh God, where is it? Oh God, why does PowerPoint hate computers?
Isn't PowerPoint made for computers?
Yeah, but it's like PowerPoint just sucks, dude.
Oh, there it is.
I'll put this like right here because I can't see your window anyways. Beautiful.
I should do a
Mike,
flourish.
Mike, Mike.
Yeah, you ready?
No, I gotta go to the bathroom, so
You go to the
I'll be
bathroom.
right back. Okay, entertain the chat. You do your thing.
Play Robo Steve. Isn't that just never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down? It's just Rick rolling. Remember who you are. About how you learn to play music. I mean, oh, I'm not that good. I know like five songs on this thing. I should learn more. Basically, I picked this up during the pandemic though, because it was the pandemic, and everyone was very bored. But I mean, I played tuba in high school, and it was kind of frustrating because all tuba does is boom, 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 boom. You never get to play melodies, so I learned a little piano stuff for fun. Piano's very hard though, so I learned a little piano, but then I picked up the tin whistle and kind of took to that a little bit more. Play your favorite note. I think it's probably. I think I like it lower actually. What is that? Is that an E? I kind of forget sometimes. That's an E because it's a D, so it's a. Yeah. Plays Mirror's Edge. I do like that a lot. Yep. There it is. I used to do this whole thing. Like, I have changed. I have changed. Nah, don't know the whole thing anymore. Oh, wrong. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. No, I tried to play Still Alive on my flute, but it's not in the right key. I can't really get it to work on this for some. Like, it's on a weird key. Like, it's almost all black keys. It's a lot of sharps and flats. And, like, you can adjust things to different keys, but it just doesn't quite work on this tin whistle. So,
Did you play Still Alive again?
yeah, it was requested. No, I can't play Portal Still
Okay,
Alive.
that's
No, no.
fair. Let's see. You want to just crop out like the top portion of the window there?
Yeah, let me work on that.
Yeah, don't need the poop emoji and stuff.
I mean, you say you don't need it. I mean, I might.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. Maybe you're a big fan of the emoji movie, Mr. Minionati.
Wow. I have changed. I have changed.
And then I
Just like
have, let's
you,
see.
Just like you. For how long? For how long? I'll say, wait, I
Should I know what this is?
there's something wrong. Is your camera back on, by the way?
Oh, no, hang on. There it is. I'll be there in just a second.
Yeah, I could do some Macarena songs. There's a couple like wait, wait. That wasn't quite right. So
Let me see what Bop sent me here.
like dun.
Bop, I think if we have time, we'll get to this. Otherwise, we can save it for next week. Because this might go a little bit since,
Yeah, we're
me
probably
and
gonna
Mike
go
like
with
to
this
talk about
one.
Saga.
Yeah, we're probably gonna be good with this, and then we'll talk about our games. So
Yeah.
fine.
But otherwise, I think I'm good when you are.
Yeah, we're gonna race back ahead. Thumbs up, everybody. And we are back. Sean, Jeff,
Mike,
in his bad vibes and
they're
his
gone.
his grumpy grumperness.
We don't have to deal with them anymore.
It's not here. It can't stop us from talking about the best video game franchise, Sonic the Hedgehog. You can't
Hell
stop us
yeah.
now. There's nothing you can do about it. We're here. I think we're ready to go. We are going to rank some Sonic the Hedgehog games.
That's right. Now, this was my idea, and I put this list together, so let me lay down some ground rules here. First of all, this is Sonic platformers specifically. I want to get that out of the way. Or platforming mostly.
No murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
No murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. No, none of the racing games.
Sonic
no pinball party.
Yeah,
no
fair.
Sonic Spinball. Yeah, stuff like that. Also, there is a notable omission on this list that people might wonder about. Sonic Boom is not on here. I consider that its own thing.
Yeah, look, it's very bad. So
that's the other thing. It would be automatically the worst. I don't think we if you played it, you know.
I know one of the 3DS ones people think is okay. There's two, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Shattered Crystal, I think, is the one.
You're right though. It is
decent.
kind of it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Just like how Yoshi's Island is its own thing from the Mario series. Yeah.
So at least here, like, you know what, Jeff's not here. We can nerd out about this. The lore of Sonic the Hedgehog. I think this is all basically one continuity as far as we know. And Boom is literally an entirely different thing.
Yes, exactly. It's a parallel universe, exactly.
Yeah, like it has its own TV show and everything that's like completely different. So like, yeah, we're just not gonna. I will say we did we had one submission about Boom. I just want to get this in here real quick. Hosp did say, I'm disappointed I cannot demand Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice, the second 3DS one. We locked in the worst F tier game spot as it's not there. As a QA tester suffering over the summer evenings of 2015 on this game,
wow.
I feel the rest of you need to share my pain. So shout outs to Hosp. I am so sorry you had to go through that.
I would like to talk to him about that sometime. I wonder... Yeah. So, on Blake Club, on Giant Bomb, I wonder who it would be funnier to make play Sonic Boom, the Wii U one. Dan, who's already, suffering through Sonic the 6, or Jeff.
Hasn't Dan been through enough?
Yeah, maybe we'll put Jeff through that one. Although I'm kind of itching to make Jeff play one of the CDI Zelda games. Were you impressed when I knew the names of each CDI Zelda game?
I'll be honest, Mike. Yeah, slight spoiler for Jeff. I was going to be honest. If anyone was going to get him, I thought it was going to be you. I was like, this Mike would probably get this one, yeah.
There. All right, let's get through this. There's a bunch of games here.
Yep. You want to talk about these, and then I can interject my thoughts and the community's thoughts as we go.
So the first one's interesting because I know we kind of disagree about this one. I like the original Sonic the Hedgehog a lot still. It is actually still one of my favorites. I think that I like that it has a stronger emphasis on pure platforming than some of the later ones. I like that it's not just kind of always go, go, go. There's a lot more sort of stop and actually jump around. Yes. I think that it has some of the strongest levels in the game. Still, it definitely has one of the strongest soundtracks. I think that top to bottom, it's maybe the best Sonic soundtrack
it's up there.
Still. I think all these songs just hit for me, especially Scrapyard Zone, Starlight Zone, just gosh, all of these zones and these songs are super fun to me. I think that it kind of has a very pleasant difficulty curve. Like the last boss here, I like some of the other ones, it seems like they're like, this is the last boss, it's gonna get really hard now. Here, Dr. Robotnik shows up with some tubes, go and hit him. It's fine. I even like the bonus stages a decent bit. I don't know if they're my favorites, but they're certain. I think they're
Mhm.
almost more fair than some of the later ones. I don't know. Sonic the Hedgehog 1, again, also, like, I was there. I was a kid, like, when this whole Sonic thing started. I still have my
Right.
original Sonic the Hedgehog doll back there somewhere. You can
Hell
see
yeah.
him. That's the doll. I bought that doll at our Best Buy when it opened, like, when all this stuff was new. And that's the doll that, like, I slept with and cuddled with my entire
Oh,
childhood. Like, I am such a Sonic child. I love it. And it all started with this game. That box art too, with the old like Genesis,
very
like
solid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love it.
So I will say that I think Sonic 1 is a very good game. It's it's just outclassed in so many ways by other games. Maybe not as whole packages, but it's like we can point to the gameplay of this one as being a bit better. The levels overall being a bit better in this one. I think here and there piecemeal, but overall it is still a very good package. Like you led with, I'm not as high on this one as you are. I think Spin Dash is an interesting thing that a lot of people talk about when it comes to Sonic 1 because it wasn't there. It was introduced in 2. I think it helps for some people because getting your momentum going in this game can be a little trickier. But this also is a platformer rather than being a straight up hold right action game. So I think that does, I can't really hold that against it. I think it's a solid entry, is where I would say. And before I read something here, I just want to say for the audio listeners that we have Tier Maker pulled up here with a list of all the games, but we are doing numerical ranking at the end of this. So I did it on Tier Maker because we can kind of like shove it in the, like 1 to 5 range or the 16 to 20 range or something like that. But at the end, we will be actually ranking them specifically. Um, from the community, I will say that MN Goldie said that Sonic 1 is B tier. And Wong Gift said Sonic 1 and 2 are great S tier games and would probably still be considered as such had the rest of the series not turned out to be such a disaster. Well, agree, disagree. In the era, it was a reasonable argument that these were better than Mario 3 and World in parts of the world where Nintendo didn't have such a stranglehold, such as everywhere outside US and Japan, he says. And if that would probably still be the case had it not been for that. And the funny thing is, I listened to a podcast recently where a bunch of Europeans were talking about Sonic, and they said the same thing. They're like, "Oh yeah, Mario sucks. No, we love Sonic," and they were like joking
Yes.
about that. They love Mario as well, but they're like, "No, no, Sonic's where it's at." So like, yeah, people do love
Oh, it's like
Sonic
those
and they love these
Europeans.
games. Oh yeah, shout outs to our European buddies.
I'm huge in
Um,
Europe. I feel like half
everyone
half
loves.
half of my viewers on Twitch are Europeans, and I love them.
Your familia, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. I think they're mostly actually British. So, I won't attempt a bad English accent here. Then,
I get
cheers,
what
mate.
I get a decent amount of British people
That's
too
more
because I stream in
Australian.
the afternoon. But yeah, that was them special next networking.
I
Anyways,
think I think it should go put it to one and five now. I have a hard time believing we can find five Sonic games better than it still. Maybe we will.
I think we might barely, but yeah, I'm okay putting in 1 through 5 for now, at least. I can agree with that too.
Because I think Sonic 2 is a lot of people's gold standard, and I totally get that. It still has basically everything that's good about Sonic 1. It adds a spin dash mechanic and then makes a game designed around it that makes a lot of sense. Tails is a really
Right.
fun character, and I like the whole little brother mode. Somebody has a middle child who both played as the little brother and as the older brother. I liked that quite a
Yeah.
lot. Some really strong levels and songs here with Chemical Plant Zone. If I had like one thing with Sonic 2, it's that the back half of the game has like some more forgettable zones than the first half. Um,
Yes.
right? Like things
Yeah.
like oil, the oil plant or whatever that is, and even like the
I would argue
sky
that's one of the
zone.
more memorable ones.
Maybe there's like
I
a
I would say it's more
cave.
like because this is what started the trend of Sonic games having, hey, Green Hill Zone, but different, and like,
Right. So you had Emerald Coast, and that's like fine.
yeah,
But like
yeah,
even like a lot like the two probably best ones from this game, Chemical Plant and the Casino Night, are like 2 and 3, so they're very early. And then it's like okay, like that level when you're on the plane, like that was kind of neat at the time, but it's obnoxious to play that now.
yeah.
it is a difficulty spike right at the end there. We have to fight Silver Sonic and then Robotnik in his machine. It's fun.
That would be Mecha Sonic.
Mecha Sonic's his name. There's a bunch
Yes.
of different ones. It's fun. It's frustrating though because again, this is a game where you only have so many lives it continues, and so that you just die and like, oh, I guess I got to go back to the beginning. The bonus levels are very cool. They're the most iconic bonus levels, but also a little frustrating because you really can only see what's coming ahead so well sometimes. So it becomes a memorization game.
I'll be honest, I like them more than Sonic ones. Actually.
I might like them more than Sonic ones also, but
Okay,
they do have like that quote unquote problem. But
right.
having said all that, it's Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I think a lot of people make the case for it being one of the best ones, and I understand.
I think I would put it. This is the funny thing. We've talked about this before. And I think when you ask someone the best Sonic game, I said Sonic 2 is sort of the hipster answer nowadays, where people are like, no, actually, it's the best one. I think it's kind of just Sonic 1, but not quite as good. It has some stuff that's like stand out. Like what this is a chemical plant in Sonic 2.
See,
and like there's stuff in here that I really like, but I don't know. I feel like it's a bit forgettable compared to the legacy of 1 and then the quality of 3.
hey, look, I was worried about being yelled at, but I kind of like Sonic 1 more than Sonic 2. If you're there with me, then we can let's just do it then.
All right. Well, before we do, I just want to input that Screaming Madden said Sonic 2 I have a soft spot for because that alongside Land for Genesis and Echo the Dolphin were my go-to games to play on Genesis while I went to my orthodontist who had all these Genesis game stations. Did you have that growing up, Mike? Like your dentist had video games? Was that like a thing?
No, not really. I heard about it though. I'm jealous.
Yeah, mine had that where
cool.
it was I had a really cool one. Mike, we had an arcade in my dentist place. Yeah, like 20 machines with like Shadow Dancer and all this stuff, like good games.
I love Shadow Dancer. I was actually just at the dentist a couple of days ago, and he had a couple of those like mini arcade games.
Like the arcade 1-ups or whatever.
Right, like the little ones. He had NBA Jam and something way less interesting than NBA Jam. I almost went to go play them, but I felt embarrassed. But yeah.
Screaming Man ends with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is S. I don't think we're putting it in S, unfortunately, man. Sorry about that.
Well, I mean, it's an S right now. Maybe it'll stay there. I don't know.
I was feeling 6 through 10 at like higher end, maybe, but I'm feeling
put it right
6
behind
10.
Sonic 1 in the top right now. If it gets bumped down there, it gets bumped down there.
Spoiler, I think that's going to be an easy bump, but
hey, we'll see. I'm not quite as convinced.
All right, why don't you take us to the third game then?
Sonic CD, kind of the first prestige Sonic game. I think there was a lot of mystique around this because not everybody got to play it because you had to have a Sega CD.
Yeah, no one had a Sega CD back then.
I had a Sega CD.
You had like a 3DO and stuff, so of course you did.
I was a spoiled brat. I was. But this game really did rule. I think that this game might have the best soundtrack of all time because it has 2 different soundtracks and they both rule. That's why it's this weird technicality.
I thought this was going to be us arguing over US versus Japan, but we're going to say no because they both rule. Well, okay, we're good.
I am curious. Which one do you like more?
I like US a little bit more.
I'm the same. I like US a little bit more.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
I think it's a little funkier, kind of. Like I like that.
I forget the exact name of the Water Zone now, but the Water Zone song in the US soundtrack where the people going wah wah woo, wah 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 woo. That is good shit, man. That is like
got bangers.
I get goosebumps hearing that stuff.
Even the opening song, it's just iconic at this point.
Both of those, Sonic Boom and then Supersonic. Whoa, you're always
but both are very good.
Just really good looking 2D Sonic game with the fun time travel thing. Now, the whole time travel to like find that like thing and then like get the best endings. That's a little obnoxious just because it's like, well. Good luck knowing exactly where to find the post, knowing exactly where the route is that you can travel in time effectively, and then know where to go to hit the little thing. Like, that could be a little rough, and the special stages could be hard, too. I kind of got the hang of them. This game, I think, benefited from that Sonic Origins mode more than any other ones, where it's just, instead of lives, you have infinite lives, and instead you get retries on the bonus stages. Like, that kind of made this great, because even more so than the other ones, because it's an animated ending that you get if you get the bad or good ending, it feels bad when you don't get the good ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just really good levels. Really fun bosses. That presentation just is kicked up a little bit. I'm a big Sonic CD fan. I like this one a lot.
I think it's very good, but I've played it multiple times and I don't know, something about it. I think I find more like the thing that some people complain about in Sonic of like, I go fast in that hill wall. I actually feel like there's a decent amount of that in Sonic CD where you do kind of hit a dead end. And which is ironic because I feel like CD is so much faster overall than both 1 and 2.
It is faster.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about it didn't click with me quite in the way it did for other people. But like it does have those merits that we talked about, like the soundtrack, the graphics, all are very not just nostalgic, but they just do hold up as still being very good. It's just I don't like the levels quite as much, so I'm not as hot on Sonic CD.
Do you like
But
it
I
more than
know
Sonic 2? Do you like it more than Sonic 1?
I'm feeling more than 2, less than 1 at this point is where I'm feeling. I do know that in the Discord, Matt Rare Monkey said Sonic CD's non-linear design is how he views it, and hidden paths and secrets say hello from the top of the list. I don't know if Sonic CD belongs at the top of the list, but I think it could hang out in 1 through 5 right now between the 2 that we have on there right now.
I
Is where
like
I'm
that.
feeling.
Let's put it between 1 and 2 right now.
Okay, there we go.
I like Sonic CD a lot. Gosh. Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This is
Yes, we are combining them as one,
think
just
you
to be
should.
clear.
I think
Okay,
you
because
should.
also it's the only way you can play the game most of the time now. So it's one game for our purposes.
So, in terms of content, it's incredible when you
Right.
connect these two games. You have
It was because it was originally this was just supposed to be what Sonic 3 was, but the project was too big for the timelines that they set out for themselves, so they had to split it.
I am kind of weird with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, admittedly, because again, I love how much content there is there. There are some incredible levels here. I love playing as Knuckles. I love having those choices. This is the one like Genesis Sonic and 2 where you could like actually save your progress, and that's nice.
Yes.
Something about the level design of this one always hit me the wrong way. It's very vertical in a way that the other ones aren't as much. There's a lot of like even like infinite vertical scrolling sections where you almost have to kind of figure out like how to kind of progress from that. This sounds like a small thing. I don't like the way the game looks quite as much. The colors feel a little bit more muted. Sonic's sprite looks a little goofy to me. He has like a mouth and it kind of just doesn't look right. These are small things, but it's almost like enough for why I don't quite like these as much as the other 16-bit era Sonic games.
Okay. This is the first time
like the
that
first,
we're gonna really disagree.
Really hash it out.
I think this is easy number 1 that deserves to hang out there for a long time. So far, at least, and quite a bit down the list as well. I think it does the high, low, and bottom, high, medium, and low paths very well, that's the verticality you were talking about. The way you have the 3 different shields. Bubble shield, the fire shield, the electric shield. There's a lot of care taken into each one. Like, you jump into the water with the electric shield, you zap all the enemies and they die. There's small stuff like that I really like. I like the special stages. I like Blue Sphere.
Okay, so that's another thing. I don't like Blue Sphere.
Of course you don't.
I don't like Blue Sphere.
You wouldn't like Blue Sphere because it's like a puzzle.
It's too tense for me. It's a puzzle, but it's like also incredibly exact timing, and it's sometimes not super clear what that timing is.
It's so fast. I love
it. Blue Sphere is too stressful to me.
And then like the amount of content, again, assuming that we do consider this Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, we do.
So many levels.
It's a lot of levels.
You have the 3 characters with the 4 total combinations that you can do. The sound. Oh my god, the soundtrack. Like we didn't even get into the whole like Michael Jackson stuff and like his people working on.
Aside from Sky Sanctuary, which is one of the best Sonic songs. I love Sky Sanctuary.
Ice Cap Zone.
Oh, the original Ice Cap Zone is incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're talking about the original. We're not talking about re-releases per se. We're
the
talking
original.
About like
what's the one that's like the circus? The original one for that I was never.
Oh yeah.
Fan.
Bum, 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 bum,
Yeah. I get it.
I
It's
think that's
definitely
funky. I love it.
nowhere near being a bad game. It's definitely one of the better Sonic games, but I like 1, 2, and CD more than it. It's your favorite, so where do we compromise is the question.
We go to the community to influence a little bit.
Okay,
First of all, Villain Mac wants to point out that Sonic 3, 5, and 8 all have to be over 2.
kill me. Okay,
And
thank you. Great.
on a more serious note, Chuck1991 says Sonic 3 and Knuckles should be considered the complete game, which, hey, we do. And it's S tier.
I can agree. It's like top tier.
It's top tier.
Okay, look. Here's what. Look, I'll let you put it above CD and 2. I don't know if I'm gonna let you
Okay.
put it above 1. That's my
How
compromise.
about, we revisit this? How about we revisit
We can
this
revisit
at the end?
it.
We'll revisit it. Okay, we
But,
might have to yell and scream and tear our hair
I feel like
out,
a lot of
but
people are gonna be
what's
mad that
left,
we have
but
2 quote unquote this low.
I don't think so. I think at least right here, people are gonna understand where we're coming from. If it gets bumped to
Yeah,
lower,
I mean,
maybe we need to talk.
The
but-
Sonic series is very front loaded.
Right. All right, we're at 4 out of 26.
We got to
Let's
move
move
along.
on to
All
the
right,
next one.
Sonic 3D Blast. Sean, I'm a little bit of a Sonic 3D Blast defender. I think that this game is actually a good amount of fun. Now, this doesn't count, but there is like a mod that's a director's cut where the original director kind of went in and tweaked some physics and added some quality of life features that makes the
Right.
game like really good. But even that base version that we're talking about, I always thought that it was kind of fun. Fantastic music. I like when people try to like say it's one of the bad Sonic games. I don't really agree with that. Now, I'm not going to try to say that Sonic 3D Blast is as good as any of these games we've been talking about.
No, not even close.
Don't get me wrong, but you're not going to convince me that it belongs in like any of those 3 worst tiers.
Yeah, I would say it's mid-ish, but like the upper end of the mid-range.
Yeah, maybe it goes like that
Like
11 to 15 slot for now.
I was feeling 11, 15, yeah, because it's like especially the 2 different versions. I think the Genesis version might be a little bit better actually, because I think it feels a little faster, ironically.
The
even
only
though
thing
the
I
frame
remember
rate's
about the
not as good.
Saturn version was that the waterfalls had a transparency effect in it.
Yeah, it was a
Ooh.
complete graphical overhaul, but otherwise it was a just the
Special
same
stages were
thing.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine. So I think 11 through 15 feels good, where it's like, it's enjoyable on its own. But I also think like in the Pantheon of Sonic games, maybe there'll be some wiggle room here. It's decent. It's okay. It's fine.
Sonic Adventure is hard because this is the one where nostalgia is actually
What a step forward from going from 3 to CD Blast to Adventure. Holy cow.
right. Things got weird.
Yeah, thanks Sonic Extreme for not coming out. Anyways.
It hurt me as a kid. I liked Sonic Adventure so much as a kid. I thought that this was the greatest thing. I remember watching those early teaser trailers where it's just chaos like bursting through that building looking like a Godzilla monster. Thinking it was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's so funny because like the entire game actually just felt that epic to me, even though now you watch it and it is so incredibly cheesy.
It's corny as hell.
Characters are like talking over each other with their weird best, like that
The
weird mouth
wiggling eyebrows and
animation.
mouth. Yeah.
But, like it's still fun. Like I think this is still my favorite form of 3D Sonic. Maybe except for maybe Frontiers, which we'll get into. I think the 3D Sonic levels in this feel really good. I think playing the other characters even works out pretty well for the most parts. Like Tails is basically just Sonic gameplay, but it's a race.
Yeah.
The
Well,
aim
because
stuff's
it's a race against Sonic, so
Right.
that makes sense. Yeah.
like even some of the like the weirder stuff. E102 it's almost like just so easy to just like run around and auto aim people and shoot them, whatever. Big the Cat stuff it's almost so bizarre and out of left field that I like it. Oh, now you're fishing. Like, okay, I'll do that. But it's hard to say because like this is definitely a game that has a lot of problems, but gosh, do I kind of love it anyways.
So here's where I stand. Sonic is very fun. Tails is also fun because, like we said, he's basically just Sonic. I think Knuckles is good, but I don't really like anyone else. And that's kind of the problem of Sonic Adventure, is because so much of the game is the other characters. I think Amy is just worse Sonic in most respects. Gamma is... I don't think Gamma's as bad as people make it out to be, but I don't think it's particularly interesting either.
Sure.
And Big is... I don't like
Big
big.
is big.
And I like fishing mini games in games as well. That's the funny thing. I still don't like big segments.
So
So that's why Sonic Adventure gets dragged down to me. The good parts are still really good, and they're still like, running away from the whale or dolphin, whatever the heck it is still like a great moment, and there are good
So,
moments in here.
okay, side story.
Ah,
I'm glad you said
yeah.
that because I got really triggered walking into the Mario movie because Maria
Uh-huh.
Menounos, whatever, was doing her like opening thing, and she was talking to some like young like tween actress, and she was like doing a trivia thing where she was like saying a movie, and she had to like guess what kind of animal was in it. So like, oh, Beethoven, dog, right? And Maria Menounos
Uh-huh.
is like, Free Willy in like this like very young girl says orca, which is exactly correct. Maria Menounos is like,
Right.
well, I guess that's a kind of whale, so I suppose you're correct. I want to be like, bitch, that is exactly the kind of whale.
People just say orca whale, yeah.
Like that. I was so mad at
Yeah.
Maria Menounos, and I'm
Well,
sorry I called her a bitch, but I was very upset.
Mike, I have bad news for you.
Yes.
Technically, orcas are in the dolphin family. They're
Wow.
like they're all
Well
like
look.
mingled together. It's
Well,
a
that's
weird
even
like
worse.
connection.
That's even worse.
I
'Cause it's an
know
orca.
it's like please, if there's a veterinarian in the audience, correct me. But my understanding is that orcas are like in the dolphin family. It's sort of like a panda bear, or was it
Interesting.
no koala? It's like koala bears aren't bears. People like say koala bear.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's the thing
So
with Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying about how it's just more fun when you're playing as Sonic, and I don't want to jump the gun on Sonic Adventure 2. I
Mhm.
think it feels to me like you're playing Sonic or Sonic-like levels way more in Sonic Adventure 1 than Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 2 is mostly doing those Tails and Robotnik levels, which is like those not so good Gamma sections, but like 5 times as long and taking up most of the game. That's why I like Sonic Adventure 1 than Sonic Adventure more than Sonic
Okay.
Adventure 2.
Last note on Sonic Adventure, Panda said that Sonic Adventure is the best Sonic game. It should be number one. I don't think either of us
I don't
wants
know
to
if
put
I'll go
Sonic
that
Adventure as
far.
number
I won't go that far.
one. But respect to you, Panda, for loving your game. Well, okay, how about this? How about we talk about 2 as well? Because maybe we need to get the
Yeah.
vibe check on both of these at once.
Yeah, and like that's kind of why I said I don't like 2 as much as 1. I think the Sonic
Mhm.
levels are still fun, but and because of the way it's structured, or at least in Sonic Adventure, if I want to just play the Sonic campaign, I can do that. Sonic Adventure
Right.
2, it's
That's
like here,
true.
play a 1-minute Sonic or Shadow level, and then it's like then you go to a Robotnik or Eggman or Tails level, and guess what? Even though it's still one level, their level is 10 minutes long because they're not as fast. And all you're
Yeah.
doing is walking around doing 360s, auto aiming on things, and shoot. It's so boring. I hate
And
those.
this was kind of the start of kind of that problem for Sonic, really, where you want to play a Sonic,
Yeah.
and the game won't let you.
It just won't let you. So, like,
Yeah.
again, it was cute as Sonic Adventure because at least there it was presented as multiple campaigns. So, whatever.
Right.
It drove me crazy in Sonic Adventure 2. So, I
I
like
think
Sonic
where
Adventure
I'm
1 more.
I think where I'm coming from is that as time has gone on, I like Adventure 2 less, but I think that it is 2/3 very fun because Sonic and Shadow are excellent. I like Knuckles and Rouge. I've always been a sucker
Yeah,
for the treasure
those things are
hunting.
fine, but I don't even think
They're
that's two.
fine
It sounds like 2/3, but it's not because those Tails and Eggman levels are
because
so
they're so
long.
long. They're
It's
so
yeah,
long.
it's almost more
It's
like
terrible.
50-50, if not worse.
Yeah, it's around there. It's around like 50/50. Yeah, because well, the treasure hunting is as much as I like it, those are long as well. So it depends
They
on how
take a
you
little bit.
feel.
I mean, that's the problem. Even those though, which are fine, they're not as good as the Shadow and Sonic levels, and those are such a small percentage of the total game actually, and it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I don't know. This one's tough for me because I like what's in Adventure 2 more, like the parts that I do like. But like you said, the simple fact that you can choose to just play as the things you like in Adventure 1 almost prop that game up more. So let me say this. What are you feeling with these two?
I think we should put both of them in 6 to 10 for now, and I would put
hmm
Sonic Adventure 1 in front of Sonic Adventure 2. Yeah?
I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm
Okay,
okay
let's
with
do it for
that.
now.
Yeah.
Let's see where we get
For
to.
now. For now, at least. Yeah.
Now we have the Sonic Advance trilogy. Maybe we kind of talk
Yeah.
about these as a
Lumped
whole.
them all together so we
Yeah.
can kind of talk about them kind of together.
I remember the first one felt really novel and really fun because it was
The first one is basically like at that time Sonic 4.
yeah, it really did feel like that because it was closer to being like those Genesis games in terms of pace and stuff like that. And you could play Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles. This is like the first time in a 2D game you could play as Amy. She was kind of like the easy mode, and it was a lot of fun. 2 and 3 were the first kind of boost games.
Kind of. Because it wasn't like a boost mechanic. It was just like if you got enough momentum, you boosted, right?
Right. And they're a lot faster, and in some ways that's fun. In a lot of ways, especially that Game Boy Advance screen, it can be really frustrating because you can't see where you're going, and you will fall off.
The problem is that Advance 2's levels I remember being kind of bad, actually.
Yeah.
3, on the other hand, 3 was interesting because that is what introduced the partner mechanic.
Right, like the original Sonic 4, kind of like it's almost like, well, yeah, we'll talk about another game.
Maybe a couple other games.
It's not on here, but it almost kind of reminds me of Knuckles Chaotix a little bit.
Yeah,
which is
a little bit.
I do think the order is 1, 3, 2 for me. Which I feel like there's some people who like 2 the most. Maybe people will be mad with me.
I think that's an outlier, though. I think most people agree that's 1, 3, 2.
Keegan right here is saying 2 is literally S plus God tier.
That's Adventure 2. That's
Adventure 2. See, never mind.
Yeah. Also, sorry to
Benji says he likes 2 the most.
Okay, interesting.
So I would say, and again, like maybe those go in that 6 to 10 spot, and maybe things will start getting bumped down if we want to add more things to that 6 to 10 spot.
I think I would almost argue immediately 1 and 3 in 6 through 10, and then immediately put 2 in 11 through 15.
Okay. Now, do you put it in front of or behind? Yes, this. Let's go 1 through 1. Where exactly do you want to put Sonic Advance 1 in 6 through 10? You want to put?
I'm thinking just at the end right now, after Adventure and Adventure.
I could put it in front of Sonic Adventure 2.
Really?
I could put it in front of Sonic Adventure 2. If you don't feel that, if you're not into it, we don't have to do it. But I could.
Nah, I can't do that.
You don't want to do it?
No.
All right. Then just put Sonic Advance 3 after that. After Sonic Advance 1. Now Sonic Advance 2. Before or after 3D Blast? Because you know me, I'm a bit of a 3D Blast defender. I'm all about putting 3D Blast first, actually. But
here's the thing: I have such little attachment to 2 that I could give you this one and say, yeah, put it after 3D Blast. I wouldn't really care because to me it is that forgettable. That's the problem. Like I remember loving 1, I remember loving 3, but I don't remember anything.
Long live Sonic 3D Blast! Justice for 3D Blast! Let's go.
There you go.
Sonic Heroes!
Sonic Heroes!
That song helps a lot. This was actually the Sonic game that broke me, because I was pretty much on a streak of just always loving Sonic throughout the faults and everything.
Right.
And Sonic Heroes, I was so excited, because it seemed on paper such a good thing. Well, you don't have to, like, play stupid Tails or, okay Knuckles levels anymore. It's just all the same thing now. And this was the one that felt the most broken out of the gate, especially just in terms of just going on a spring, then the spring just sending you to your death accidentally, just falling through levels. And because it's like, oh, well, one of your modes, like the Knuckles mode, you have to fight people. So now enemies have health bars. And gosh, enemies having health bars in a Sonic game is such a choice. They maybe finally made that kind of work with Sonic Frontiers, but it took a long time to get there. Sonic Heroes hurts me. I think it's the worst one we've talked about so far.
Mike, we're fighting.
You like Sonic Heroes?
This game rules! Sonic Heroes rules!
This
it's
game
so good. I love this game.
I want to revisit it. I have it over on my GameCube pile back there because I haven't played it since it broke me, and it broke me hard. But look, I'll stand by you.
Okay. Let me hear me out. Hear my side of things. First of all, I do want to give shouts to my boy Sad Hoot Noises Bop. Sonic Heroes deserves S tier for the title song alone.
Well, the title song is great. I agree.
Title song S tier, yes.
It rules.
But also really pushed the 3D games in a way that Adventure couldn't. Interesting take. I don't really agree with that one. I'll accept no less than A, which would put it at 6 through 10.
Okay, I'll say this, John.
Hold up.
All right,
I
one
haven't
more,
I
one
haven't
more.
given my argument yet. I haven't given my argument
Your
yet.
argument. All right.
So, Heroes is, I think, a very good game. As much as I love it, it is a flawed one, though. I think it has the same problem as Adventure 1 and 2, which makes sense because it was originally intended to be Adventure 3, where half of this game kind of sucks. Sonic Team is good, Shadow is good. Chaotix, what were they thinking? Like, find things in the level for your detective agency? And then Team Rose is like, it's easy mode Sonic, which follows the theme of, hey, let's have Amy, the girl character, be the easy mode. Great choice, Sonic Team. Wonderful. I think that the Sonic parts and the Shadow parts, though, are very good. And I think that the level up system is fun. And the fact that when you do get level 3, you said the enemies have health bars. Guess what? You plow through them once you get level
Once you
3.
get level 3.
And you get more moves on the fly. That's the thing. Like, this is where I'm gonna have my first get good moment because,
Oh,
like,
God.
hey, if you're not having fun with this, maybe you should learn how to level up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Leveling up's not going to help you in the spring send you to your death because of some bug. Look,
And that is something that I will give you.
Yeah.
This game was noticeably buggier than the ones before because they were developing for multiple platforms, and that clearly hurt them. So what I'm gonna say is, like, actual real talk. I think it's like a very solid and good, like, 7 out of 10 game. I'm defending it from going in the bottom half.
no, for sure. There's going to be way worse.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, we have 26 games. I don't know.
yeah,
You might have been hanging that way.
Where would you want to put it?
In my mind, this could be like ass bottom of 6 through 10 for now.
I think that's fine.
And maybe get bumped down later.
I think that's
like,
completely reasonable.
I think maybe ahead of Advanced 3. And here's my logic.
All right.
Because I actually think it does the team-based stuff better than 3.
I have no great love for Advanced 3. Advanced 1 was
Okay.
the one I actually liked.
But yeah, Advanced 1 is just a very solid game overall. So I think right now, for the audio listeners, that puts Sonic Heroes at number 9 on the list. I think that's where it deserves to be for now, at least.
Shadow the Hedgehog, I think we're good. Shadow the Hedgehog, I avoided playing for a long time because, again, I was thrown off by Sonic Heroes, and boy, did the idea of Shadow the Hedgehog seem really stupid to me.
Who's got a gun? What the hell is happening to Sonic?
It's very stupid. Honestly, though, when I finally played it very recently, it is not bad. It's got problems. Performance is all over the place. People won't stop talking to you. At least you can pick which 3 people you want to talk to you. But like that whole mission design is kind of neat. How you sort of can choose how you're gonna beat the level, and that dictates what level you go to next. So that's kind of neat because you're just playing a Shadow the Hedgehog. It's like the closest we got to having a just Sonic levels kind of game of these.
Yeah, in quite a while, yeah.
So that's kind of nice. Again, the gun combat is not very good, and I don't know why they had to shove as much of that in there as they did.
It's weird. It's almost like, because it's isometric a lot of time, it almost feels like twin stick-ish, like adjacent. It's odd.
Jesse said this in our chat. It's more stupid than bad. I kind of agree with that. It's like the Resident Evil 5 of Sonic games. It's not bad. It's very stupid. But like,
it is.
What is that? It's fine. It got frustrating towards the end, I remember. Then it like actually started feeling bad to play also. But
I remember that too. There were long levels too once you were in the space zone and stuff. Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't hate it. I really didn't. What do you think?
I played this when it came out because I was let me see, this was about like 2005-ish. So I was still like in middle school around there. So this was almost like catering to me, of like the edgy guy, like, hey, Sonic is like 90s dude, but Shadow, that's the edgy dude. You want the edgy dude. And I played it, I was like, boy, this is dumb. I like the opening song in this one. This was the theme of Sonic games at the time. Opening song actually kind of slaps. That's why I put it in
Fresh
Jeopardy
40. They're always on their A game.
They're always on their A game. I think you're right on the money, though. I think it's more like Jesse said in the chat over there, more stupid than bad. I think it's Yeah, it's fine is how I feel about it. It's like I don't think it's bad. I think this is something that actually kind of annoys me when people talk about games is they're like because something when something deviates from the norm, they're immediately like it's bad because I was expecting blank. It's like, well, they didn't even call it Sonic. It's Shadow the Hedgehog. And so it's just a different thing. And so I think you need to hold it to different standards. And those standards, well, it doesn't quite live up to them, really, but it's also not bad. I think it's lower end of middle of the road is kind of what I'm feeling right now. I think this might be our first 16 through 20 is what I'm feeling. Like maybe the bottom end of 11 through 15.
Yeah, why don't we put it just at the bottom of our 11 through 15 for now, and we'll
Okay.
see what happens. We'll see what
I'm okay
happens.
with that. All right.
I remember liking Sonic Rush quite a good bit. Even though it's like its gameplay is kind of similar to that Sonic Advance 2, Sonic Advance 3 formula.
Carries that torch, yeah.
Yeah, and it had a bit of a. It felt like I don't know if it's because of the DS. I could see it a little bit further where I was going. I remember colors just kind of popped a little bit more. I think
Mhm.
that Blaze is probably she's definitely one of the better Sonic friends we got post Knuckles. There aren't a lot
Yes.
of good post Knuckles Sonic friends, but I do like Blaze.
Outside of Rouge the Bat, of course, but I'll let you continue.
Yeah, poggers. I liked Sonic
Just a Dan
Rush.
Reichard.
I like Sonic Rush quite a bit. What do you think about this one?
Um, I think that Sonic Rush, and you know what? I'm actually gonna lump Adventure into this one a little
Okay, 'cause
bit. I think the Rush games, as I'll call them, did carry on that legacy of Sonic Advance, of being the 2D Sonic games while consoles were struggling a bit to do 3D Sonic. This kind of just continued what we liked about the Genesis games, and they are very good at what they do. The whole Rush theming, why it's called Rush, is because you do still have like the boost esque mechanic that was introduced in Sonic Advance 2. And I think they are very good. And I remember actually playing Rush 1 multiple times as a kid. I liked it that much. And I hadn't done that with any Sonic games since I played 3 and Knuckles, like when I got Genesis a little bit earlier on. I will say that we do have an entry for Sonic Rush. Chronobound thinks that Sonic Rush is S tier because it feels faster than all the other games, has killer music by the Jet Set Radio composer,
mm,
apparently, and was the best Sonic game released until Mania. I'm looking at the list. I disagree with that. But Blaze it is what they say. I think, yeah, these are just very good
I
games. The
will say
question
I
is,
remember I
yeah.
don't for some reason Adventure didn't register the same way with me.
Adventure was like just more Rush, basically.
yeah,
I think that's maybe why I didn't remember as much because it's like, hey, what if Rush, but we got Pirate Eggman this time? And it
yeah.
was kind of just more Rush. So it's like, I'll admit it's forgettable compared to the first one because it is just kind of a rehashing.
I could go relatively high with Rush. I don't know if it goes a one
I
through
could too.
five, but like I would could even put it like right after Sonic Adventure 1, in between Sonic Adventure 1 or 2, or maybe even before Advance or before Heroes. What do you think?
I would almost put the first one before Adventure.
Before Adventure. I wouldn't
I
like
think
be
it's
upset
that
about
good.
that. It's pretty good. I remember liking
Yeah,
it.
it's really good.
Yeah.
So I think okay, can we agree with that? Like Rush 1 goes in front of
Sure.
Adventure.
No,
But
although
then where's
you're gonna have to immediately push Sonic Advance 2 there on 11 to 15 at the top there now.
or yeah, the third one. Yeah, the third
Right.
one
I
gets
mean
bumped
3,
down.
excuse me.
And
Yeah.
then
But
Sonic Rush Adventure
it
then.
doesn't
Where
mean
do
as
we put
much to
that
me.
one?
I would not say it's better than Sonic Advance.
No, I would agree. Just because again, it's forgettable. Like we can't talking just off the cuff here, we can't even like really say why it's important for the most part. So I think just for the forgettability factor, I don't even remember it being a bad game. It's just like I don't remember loving it that much, even as much as the first one. So I could kind of go anywhere with this one right now. Probably above at least Advanced 2.
Yeah, let's do that. I think I
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh God,
Sonic 06.
we're here.
Let's
What's
put this.
happening?
Look, let's just put it in the worst right now. We'll see if anything knocks it out of there. Uh, I mean, it might actually be the worst, but more importantly, like, how dare it? How dare it call itself Sonic the Hedgehog?
That's the big problem. That's the
Like,
big problem.
go to hell. Like, what the hell is the matter with you? And then it's just so embarrassing on so many different levels. That game is completely broken. The story is stupid, and not stupid in like almost that fun way that Shadow the Hedgehog is. It's stupid in like so many different ways. You have this awful overworld with Sully and Anna and these stupid mini games. The loading alone, the way you
The
can just
loading
talk
is
to a character,
abysmal.
it loads. They say one line, then it loads again to some stupid mini game. The animation is like awful and maybe mo-capped in some weird way. It looks so
Hmm.
bad. There's just I don't know what is redeeming about Sonic 06 other than it's fun to watch other people suffer and play it.
I was looking forward to this game so much when I was a kid because it's one of the first games I saw running on Xbox 360.
It was an early game for that generation.
Yeah, and it looked fairly pretty, especially if you happen to see like the E3 video or whatever it was that they showed, where they showed it was pre-rendered obviously, but like the concept of the Sonic running through a lot of foliage and like the Eggman robots chasing him, which are concepts that did make it into
Goddamn
the final
lie.
game. Yeah, do you know the history of why this game is the way it is?
Yeah, because they realized that the Wii was a much weaker console than the 360, so they had to just take the team, split it in half, and
Right.
have half of them make Sonic in the Secret Rings.
Yeah, so dear listener, if you didn't know about that, that's why both Sonic the Hedgehog and I'm gonna say Sonic and Secret Rings, neither of which are good games, why they really suffered is because they literally just took one development team and split them in two to make one game for the 360 slash PS3, which by the way, early PS3 development wasn't helping them at all.
Oh,
And then take the scraps of what they were thinking about for 6 and fit them onto the Wii
even
as
if
quickly as they
everything went
could.
according to plan, just like the ideas and design around Sonic 06 were so bad, it's not like it would have been a good game.
Here's the
Like,
thing. This is probably gonna be the weirdest thing I say today. I think it would be okay if it ended up the way they were playing it, and it was an adventure style game because you would have Sonic, Shadow, and Silver with their different play styles. It wouldn't be as good because Shadow's like driving around in a car a lot of the time, and Silver
sure
is like
is.
doing his telekinesis thing.
We got the
I
Havoc
think
engine. Let's go. Physics.
let's
We.
go, yeah. Only possible, not on the Wii. I think if they pulled it off, it would have been okay. The problem is it's not. It just
Okay.
is not. And I think I'm looking ahead in the list here because I think there might be other games I would actually put as 26.
I don't know. You're gonna.
But
You
for
might have to talk me into
now,
it. You might have to talk me into that.
and I might not even try that hard to do that. So I think for now we can leave it at 26, which for the audio listeners I've labeled as 26, aka the worst. So I think it can be there for now. Yeah.
And then I think the only thing that helps Sonic in the Secret Rings is that it's far
Oh,
less.
I almost forgot. Sorry. Oh no, Leo wanted to chime in. I like how we don't have to even talk about Sonic 06 being S tier when someone else is playing it. It
Exactly.
makes for good content. She's
Exactly.
got a
It's
point.
fun to watch people play it. Like, there's a part of me that almost wants to play it someday, just to make people watch me play it.
Oh my god. I don't think you could, based on what you just said, I don't think you could get through it.
Also, don't tempt me.
We'll see.
Sonic and the Secret Rings is only saved by the fact that it's not very ambitious. It's a pretty simple game. You're steering with your Wiimote. It's an early Wii game, so it doesn't work very well. And it's so
Right.
simple that's not that fun. Something about that like storybook aesthetic is kind of cute.
It's
It's got
almost endearing.
it's got a decent song too. It's got its own Crush 40 song that's not bad.
Right.
I mean it's not great, but it's not good.
Okay, I will say that Alex in the Discord is maybe on your page. Sonic and the Secret Rings is a solid B tier game. I enjoyed the music and remember it being a fun one sitting completion as a kid, like the storybook adventures that they did in that and in the less good Black Knight. I guess maybe I'm the odd one out here a little bit. I think this game sucks.
I think it
I
like sucks
do not like
hard.
Secret Rings. It sucks long and hard. Like this game, holy crap. Why is it that Sonic is like constantly running unless you like you press a button or something
It's
to
an
come to
auto
a dead
runner.
stop?
It really
It
is.
is. That's the problem. Like, why did they make a Sonic auto runner?
Because they didn't know what the hell to do with the Wii.
Like you run into something and Sonic is still like running in place. Like his physics don't match the animation.
Yeah.
And then
It's
I
not
think this
good.
game sucks.
It's not
This
as
game
bad
is
as Sonic
bad.
06. It's not good. Look, you can
No.
put it where you want. I'm not gonna like defend Sonic and the Secret Rings. But
I'm putting this one above Sonic 06 in the 21 through 25, and I don't see it
All right.
going higher than that.
Sonic Unleashed. Gosh, again, when we first saw it, I was so excited, and those
Mhm.
2D like the main Sonic levels are really good. It's the first of the actual 3D boost games. Basically, how a lot of these games still
Right.
play. I have mixed feelings about the boost system these days. It doesn't like it can sometimes feel way too slippery, and it really de-emphasizes platforming a lot of times. But
Mhm.
it can also look really cool. It can be exhilarating. It can be fun, and there are some really pretty levels of Sonic Unleashed. But again, a lot of this game, maybe even most of this game, is actually doing this werehog stuff and doing
Yeah.
a bad God of War clone. And just conceptually, it's so annoying that they did that. Like, especially at this point when so many people are like, we just want to play normal Sonic
Why did they
levels.
think God of War of all things would be a
I don't
good thing
know.
to put into Sonic? Like who in Sonic Team is just a huge fan of Kratos? I don't get it.
Right. And even though even though conceptually it's not maybe as offensive as some other things, this was just such the wrong time to do it. And it was so
Right.
unnecessary. It was so stupid. Also, Chip, little helper
Annoying.
guy, is maybe my least favorite of all the Sonic friends. I hate
He's the
him.
Navi.
I hate
Yeah.
him so much. God, this game also, along with '06, bizarrely well done CG cutscenes. Like, I don't understand why they look
They
so
like
good.
always do. Like it's weird.
Like, why are these people so good?
I think they
Um,
probably just outsourced it. Is what
eh,
happened. Yeah.
I don't like Sonic Unleashed.
Okay.
I saw, and a lot
Okay.
of people have softened on Sonic Unleashed in recent years, I feel like, and I am not one of them.
So I haven't even softened on it in recent years. I've always thought that this game, the daytime segments are probably the best Sonic has ever been 3D. I think the
Could maybe
daytime
see
segments
that.
of Sonic Unleashed are incredible because that's what you do with Sonic in 3D. You have the 2D segments where this is probably the best that like Boost Sonic has felt in 2D as well. But then what do you do when you put him in actual 3D? You put slight bumpers on him, like you're bowling. You put the bumpers on so you can't veer way off over on this side or way off on that. You can't clip through the loop to loop, or you can't like have the bumpers send you somewhere random by it being a little more on rails and being more twitchy, basically what Sonic and the Secret Rings wanted to do, but actually executing it well and putting more control in the hands of the players. I think Sonic Unleashed's daytime segments are incredible. The problem is the Werehog segments. And
Yeah,
like you
that's
said, it's the Adventure 2 problem that started there. You don't want to be doing that, and there's so much of the game.
right.
I will say in the Discord, I have some people lining up with me. Our buddy Wolf said, "Put Sonic Unleashed daytime levels in S and night levels in D." Yeah, there's that split there. And Snufkin said, "Sonic Unleashed is good, my dudes." I could see this going in the middle of the road because of the divisiveness. Even look at the color. The cover. You can see the
Yeah,
divisiveness
it's
right
right
there
there.
on it between
I mean,
Sonic and
look,
Werehog.
if you want to put it as 16 to 20 for now, we can see where it ends up. But yeah.
I would put it at least above Shadow the Hedgehog.
Really. I
I
mean, look,
think
I'm not
it
gonna play.
is.
That's fine. Whatever.
I think Shadow the Hedgehog is a mediocre game. Sonic Unleashed is an incredible game mixed with a terrible game. So
All
I
right.
think the good, because remember what we said about Adventure, you can go back and play just the good parts if you want to. I think we put it above Shadow
You
for
can play
now.
the good parts if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. All right.
Okay.
Bump Shadow down to 16 then.
There we go.
All right. Hey, audio listeners, just a quick heads up here. In our S tier right now, we have Sonic 1, Sonic 3 Knuckles, Sonic CD, and Sonic 2. In our A tier, we have Sonic Rush, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Advance, Sonic Heroes. In that B tier, Sonic Advance 3, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Rush Adventure, Sonic Advance 2, and Sonic Unleashed. In that C tier, Shadow the Hedgehog. In that D tier, Sonic and the Secret Rings. And in that last tier, the worst
The
Sonic game,
worst.
the Sonic '06.
Yeah.
I mean, Sonic and the Black Knight, it's like a mild improvement over Sonic and the Secret Rings, right?
Ooh,
Is
I
it?
think it's
Is it
slightly
worse?
worse
Because honestly, I'll be
because
honest, I don't even
yeah.
remember this one very much.
Because adding the sword, I feel just slowed things down
It added more
even
waggle.
more. It added more waggle, 100% more waggle, exactly. I think it's just worse Secret Rings. I never beat this one. I don't have much to say about it. I just remember not liking
It
it
doesn't have a
at
song
all.
that I remember.
Nah, I don't
Eh,
think that's the thing. I think this is like not as good as Secret Rings, which is already
that's
pretty
rough.
bad.
Let's
And
just put it.
then
Let's just put it after Secret Rings, and we'll move on.
There we go. Move on. We're last.
To the one Wii Sonic game people actually like, Sonic Colors,
Hmm.
which, yeah, like, hey, this is doing what we've been asking for. It's just kind of a normal
Right.
Sonic game, right?
Yeah, it took like this is the one that started the good trend with Sonic. There's, I think, with the exception of the next game, maybe Sonic kind of was on a better trajectory here
Yeah, he's trending upwards a little bit there.
because yeah, they took the daytime segments from Unleashed, which is what worked. Like people universally agree worked, and then they just made a game out of that.
I like the kind of setting of it of like Dr. Eggman's space theme park. That's
Hmm.
kind of fun. You have like these power ups with the wisps. Um, it suffers a bit graphically because it's a Wii game.
Right.
The remaster helped a little bit with that, but there's some funkiness there.
Yeah, game's a
It,
little buggy.
the problem is like this is a problem with a lot of these boost games. Is like sometimes they have those pure 2D segments and they feel always really awkward. Like because they still carry some of the physics from the 3D sections, and it
Yeah,
just does not feel great. But still, especially from this era, definitely one of the better ones.
definitely. And yeah, I think it's a good game overall. My admission is that like something about the levels never stuck with me. Something about them never really clicked. I think they're like stunning, especially if you're playing them in the HD remaster when it's not bugging out on you. Or play it in Dolphin. Play in Dolphin looks great there. Um, I just think something about the levels is a little bland, honestly. I don't know. I think it's a very good game overall. It's just this is one I don't have personal attachment to because it never quite clicked with me. And the wisps I felt kind of just slowed things down again. They had this obsession with slowing Sonic down when like you had something here, and like with the exception of like laser, I don't know. What are you feeling about
I mean,
colors?
I do think that some people kind of overrate this one a bit.
Yeah,
Even still, like I would maybe put it above Sonic Unleashed, still, or right below it. It's on one side of Sonic Unleashed, I guess is what I'm saying.
right. Yeah, that's probably where it belongs. I would say if I'm fighting for Unleashed's good side, I would say right below it.
Yeah, go for it. Put it above Shadow the Hedgehog. That's fine.
Oh god, people are gonna yell at me over this one. All right.
They are. Some people like really like Sonic Colors. Again, I
I
think
know
it's a
I do.
little overrated.
All right.
Not as good as
Oh
3D
god.
Blast. People are gonna get mad about that specifically. I think.
Yeah.
Um, the Sonic the Hedgehog 4 games suck. They aren't very good.
These games suck.
And
They're
again,
terrible.
there's that element of how dare you like
How
call it.
dare you? Exactly. How dare you call this Sonic the Hedgehog 4 episode 1 and episode 2,
It's
which I just realized
awful.
I put them in the wrong order,
And
but
not only are they bad, but they are so forgettably boring
mhm,
bad. Like even Sonic
mhm.
06 is this fun catastrophe in a way that these games like aren't just boring and
And even on a
bland.
serious note, like Sonic 06's like levels, you at least think to yourself of like the ocean and the desert. You can like
Yeah.
pinpoint that stuff. And Sonic the Hedgehog 4, I can't remember anything outside Green Hill Zone. And I remember playing this game and just being disappointed by it.
All right.
I do want to say real quick, Gerbear did submit that in sub F tier Sonic Hell. Luckily, I don't have the words to describe what would be done to everyone involved with the criminal act Sonic 4 represents. Otherwise, Turbo Sean would be balder than an egg as a result of the shock by the time he finished reading my contribution. Needless to say, I did not care for the game. Neither did we, either of them, because Sonic 4 Part 2 did not improve things. My biggest thing, real quick, is that the physics do not match the animation. People say games look like Flash games at a certain point in time. This literally looks like a Flash game where you have like a GIF that they move along like a
Yeah.
linear line. It's weird and bad. And no, sir, I don't like them. Where do we put them?
I think that I might put both of them at the end of 21 to 25. I think Sonic 06 is still this special catastrophe. I guess is part 2 slightly better than part
It's
1?
like
A
marginally better.
smidge.
It's a
Like
smidge better because Tails,
congratulations.
ironically, I think Tails like kind of fixes some of the bad like level design and
Yeah.
stuff because you can skip it. So sure,
They're,
two
they're
is slightly better than one. Still at the bottom though.
still awful.
Yeah.
Sonic Generations I do like quite a bit. There is that nostalgia factor. You have the classic Sonic levels that kind of play like the Genesis games. It is kind of fun that you are going through all these different like eras. Now the problem is because of the way Sonic is, that means that you start off really strong and then you kind of get like worse. You're literally playing a Sonic 06 level at some point. Cool. Who cares? Mm, I, I I like it. It's probably my favorite of the Boost era games. I know
Oh
you've been a
yeah,
bit of a
easily.
Sonic Unleashed defender, but I like this more than Sonic Unleashed.
I think Sonic Unleashed reached higher highs in the daytime segments, but as a game, no. Sonic Generations. Okay, here's the
But
thing. Here's the thing.
okay,
I'm gonna get my love out of the way. If you ask me what the best Sonic game is, I would say either Sonic 3 and Knuckles or Generations.
or Generate. You think of that highly
I
of it?
put that high.
Mm.
Yeah, because I think here's the thing. Think about Generations. It's maybe the only Sonic game since 3 and Knuckles, maybe aside from like Rush, I guess, that doesn't really have anything bad. Like straight up.
Oh, final boss is awful. Final boss, and Nick in chat said this. Nick G, and I agree there. That final boss is rough. There still is some like that wonky 2D physics here and there. Like some of the level design's not great, especially later on. I agree. I do like this one. I like it to the point where I think like, oh, we should put this in between Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2. That's where I would put it. I want to put it above Sonic Adventure 1. I feel like you like it more than that.
I'm putting my foot down. I'm accepting no lower than 1 through 5. It needs to be
Really?
top
This has to
5.
be a 1 through 5?
Okay, here. Okay, let me read. Masubi in the Discord said Generations is my pick for S tier. It's a good fun snapshot of the franchise in a pretty tight 8 to 10 hour game. Jat said Sonic Generations has to be near the top, right? And the Egg Doctor, may Eggman himself, Sonic Generations was a great mix of classic 2D and good 3D Sonic platforming. The modern classic levels were great, as were the 2D modern levels. A lot of people don't like the 2D physics in this game. I have zero problem with them.
They're a little
I don't know.
they're
Like
a little clumsy. It's
they're
not a
they're
giant
not
problem.
as tight as the Genesis levels, I will say. But it's
Yeah.
like the boost modern Sonic segments are so good. Not quite as good as Unleashed. Unleashed is a little bit better. But then I think 2D Sonic, like classic Sonic, is also really good. I don't know, because this is the thing. Like, oh, even if you want to say the final boss is terrible, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's good. It's fine, is where I always said. It's like, yeah, it's kind of adventure-y, and I think adventure always had that like run into the enemy kind of thing. Like, I don't
Mm,
know, never they can't figure out Supersonic. I don't know.
no, they
But
can't.
I think it belongs in top 5 minimum,
Here's
is where
okay.
I'm
So
feeling.
here's the thing. I don't want to mislead you. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna let you put it above Sonic 2. So we could put it in the quote unquote bottom of 1 through 5, but we know it's gonna get knocked down from there later. Is the thing.
Will it though?
I don't know. It better. I'm not. Look, I'm compromising with you. I am not gonna let Sonic Generations be above Sonic 2. I'm just not. Just not.
How attached are you to Sonic CD then?
Yeah, I'm pretty attached to Sonic CD.
More than Sonic 2?
Uh, yes, yeah, I guess. Sonic,
Because
come on.
I would not put this above 3 in Knuckles, and maybe not even 1.
I would.
But I
That the one I would let you put it above is Three Knuckles, but
oh my god, what is this man
I
saying?
know. Look, can you look? Can you put it at the end of 1 through 5 for now, and then we'll see what happens when we kind of come to the end here. We can
In 2 games when we have to argue over.
because we're gonna we'll see what
Fine.
happens. Put it in the
Fine.
in there
All
for
right,
now.
fine. All right, for now.
Sonic and the Lost World is so disappointing because it seemed like such a great concept. I was happy we were finally trying something different than the boost games. The whole kind of like the whole cylinder levels that seemed to make a lot of sense. And then the game just did not feel very good to play. Even though, again, you're just playing a Sonic this whole time. Like, it should have just worked, and it just did not come together. I remember being very frustrating. Like, again, a lot of times you just kind of died. You had those stupid bosses. I remember they called. God, they were dumb. I hated them.
The
Like,
Sinister
the
6.
scissor stick, like yeah, like some kind of bad like Super Sentai knockoff, kind of like Ginyu
Kind
Force
of.
thing. They were awful. This game is very forgettable, like in a way that like makes me like it even less than Shadow the Hedgehog, which probably has more actual faults than it, but is endearing in a way.
I kind of agree, but I will fight back a little bit on the gameplay at least. where I think that this was actually a good way of doing Sonic speed in 3D that isn't the boost era. Um, I think that having the Mario Galaxy style floating islands, but they're really big, and so they give Sonic a lot of room to run around, I think was actually a very good call.
Yeah.
I think the tighter platforming sections are where it falls apart. Like the second that you need Sonic to slow down a little bit is where it gets less fun. I think it's okay. Like other games definitely do that worse. I, you're right though, it has an element of forgettability though. So
It's just kind of floating out there.
yeah, I would say above Shadow at least just for the gameplay alone, but probably between Colors and Shadow.
Yeah, I'll
Towards the
agree with.
middle there.
Yeah, that's not what I said, but we'll go with that because we need to compromise sometimes and be reasonable
Where
about
would you
stuff.
where would you put it below Shadow, you
I would just
said?
put it right below Shadows. They're not very different,
Mm,
but I
I
mean,
I think it deserves like I think they're like basically tied, and I would personally give the
uh,
slight
d-
edge to
just
Lost World.
I think they're both almost equally bad, but the way Shadow the Hedgehog is bad, I find more amusing. I guess is the difference.
That's the
here.
thing. I don't think Lost World is bad at all. I
Okay,
think it's like so mediocre that it like lands right around there.
Sonic Mania. I think that's the best. I think that's the best Sonic game. I think Sonic Mania rules. I think it looks
Yeah.
amazing. All the little extra frames of animation, uh, just all the levels.
Yeah.
I love that you can play all the characters. I love plus that added Mighty the Armadillo is like low key my favorite Sonic character. I loved them bringing him back. Ray was fun to play as, and then like some of just the surprises. One of my favorite gaming moments ever was when you go to Chemical Plant Zone and that like mid boss is just you playing Puyo Puyo Pop. You're just playing Dr.
That's
Robotnik's
so
main theme.
awesome. Yes.
I was like jumping up and down screaming. I was so excited about that. This game just feels really good to play. If I like had a complaint, just because it's original levels, like Press Garden and the saloon, like the cowboy level, are so
Yeah.
good. I kind of wish there were more of them. I wish that there weren't as many throwbacks. Like again, I didn't really need the oil zone from Sonic 2 and
Yeah.
the cave zone from Sonic. There's almost too many throwback levels. I would have liked more original ones just because they were so strong here.
Right.
But just in terms of playing it, this game feels great, and there's a lot of reasons to play it multiple times.
So first of all, shame our community. No shouts to Sonic Mania, at least when I compiled all these. So bad on you all. Play
Shame.
the game if you haven't. Second of all, I will say, a huge shame on me as a Sonic fan because I said that Sonic 3 Knuckles or Generations would be the best. Mania is recent enough that I forgot. Oh no, wait, Mania is actually like probably the best. I
It's
think
so
it's
good.
almost like I didn't even bother thinking about Mania because like, oh yeah, Mania's number one. Like what
Yeah.
do we even need to talk about this? I think Mania's just
It's
number
just number
one.
one. It's so good.
Yeah,
It's infuriating they just didn't make another one right away, and it almost seems like
yeah,
it's not happening now. Like we missed the boat, but there we
right.
are. Now, okay, kind of have to shuffle things here because we have 6 games in 1 through 5.
Right. And this is what I was
Is
worried
it? I
about.
mean, come on, you can't be so hard lined on it that like a difference between 5 or 6 makes that big a difference for you for generations. You can't. You're thinking
It's
about it as
because I'm not.
you're
No, no,
thinking
no.
about it
That's
in
the
terms
thing.
of S tier and A tier, and that's not
No, no,
really
no.
what it
I'm
is.
not. I'm not. I'm consistent with this. I've never had attachment to two.
Never. It's
I'll give
Sonic
you CD.
2.
I'll even give you one.
You weren't alive
but-
for Sonic Tuesday. Were you? You weren't there.
No.
You don't
No, I was
understand
not.
the importance. The people who died to give us Sonic Tuesday.
You don't understand what we lost on that day.
You don't understand. You just don't get it, man. I'm sorry, Sean. Look, I did not. I have been very amiable, whatever the
Mhm.
word is.
Uh-huh.
Look, I've not put my foot down on anything. I am not seeing Generations go above Sonic 2. I'm sorry.
I don't see two going above generation. Okay. How
Let's
would
do
you
a
feel
poll.
about putting it to a poll? Okay,
Let's
can we
do a
put it to a
poll.
poll? All right, do you need me to do that or you got it?
I need you to do that.
Okay, I can do that. All
We'll
right.
do it to a poll.
How about you start talking about the next one while I get that set up?
Okay. Sonic Forces is. It's funny because you think it would just be Generations 2, but it's
But it's not.
not. It's it has a bit of that Shadow the Hedgehog energy. Where why is this the way it is? Why is this
Exactly.
trying to be dark, like weird? I never get that line where what Charmy is talking about about how this is awful, and Knuckles is like, that's why
This is
it's
war,
called
Sonic.
war,
Yeah.
Charmy. It's not meant to be good or whatever. It's incredible. And like, they just kind of throw classic Sonic in there because why not? And the one thing is you can make your own Sonic character, and that's like cool, I guess. It's
For the
like
kids, I
fun.
guess.
It's stupid. It's not that much fun to play. Sonic Forces just doesn't feel great, and conceptually is just bizarre.
Yeah, I will say a lot of people crap on the gameplay first and foremost, and I think it's okay-ish. Like I think the avatar sections are mediocre. The big sin here is why the physics got worse from generations. I don't understand how that happened if it's just the
Yeah, right.
hedgehog engine. Like what were you doing there? Conceptually, it's hokey as hell. It's almost cute, but it doesn't quite get there. And instead, it's kind of just edgy. I know that kids actually kind of dig the like hokey edginess of like with
Sure do.
what's his name? The Sonic like in this game, Infinite, I think, right?
Oh, Infinite. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, people kind of like that. It's like, all right,
Of
dude,
course they do.
whatever.
Kids loved Shadow to the point where like Shadow's
Yep,
some like
right.
institution apparently.
But this is, I don't know. I don't think it's as bad as most of the ones on the bottom of the list, but I would hesitate to even put it above Shadow. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
but it's around there,
Let's just put it after Shadow because like it has some more energy, but something about Shadow is just more endearing.
right?
Uh, Sean, I'm a little shocked here because usually it doesn't go this way, and the poll's still going. But I'm winning this poll decently.
You
70% says
are.
Sonic 2 to 30%
We'll
for
let it
Sonic
rock for a little
Generation.
bit. We'll
Let
let
it
it
ride a
rock
little
for a
bit.
little bit. There's still not that many votes in. We'll see.
All right, you hold on to hope there. But Sonic Frontiers is the last one we have to talk about here. I like Sonic Frontiers a good bit, actually. I think that a lot of it made sense. I think that the open world format works really well for Sonic because it gives him a lot of ground to cover for a character who is so fast. I kind of like how there's just all these little mini challenges around, and you can kind of go about them and platform and have fun. There were definitely some problems with like draw distance and some of the awkward ways you would almost kind of be like magnetically pulled into these sections when you didn't want to. But
Hmm.
a lot of this just really worked for me. Like the giant bosses floating around, you can kind of just run up to them and get them. This is definitely the best combat system we've had in a Sonic game, which isn't maybe saying much, but this feels a lot better than what we've
Yeah.
had in say Shadow the Hedgehog or
I
even
mean, up to this
Sonic
point, it was
Heroes.
basically just homing attack,
Well, I mean,
right?
or
Like,
mashing. Well, we've had like Sonic Unleashed try to be God of War, and this feels better
well,
than
yeah,
that.
outside of Werehog, yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
So,
Yeah.
I think this is. I like this a lot. I'm even more
Mhm.
excited to see where it goes. I almost wish they didn't kind of throw in boost levels because these are some of the most bland boost levels we've had in the series. So
Well,
they're
because they're just generations level. There's literally generations levels.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I like Frontiers. What do you think about it?
So here's the thing. I actually haven't gotten around to playing all the way through this one yet, which I actually hate to admit because it seems like it's really good. Like all things considered, at least. Like even if you don't like the formula, like it seems like it's the best Sonic in a while that isn't called Mania at the very least. I played it a little bit on the Switch for science. I will say that. Terrible experience. Don't do that. But the formula that's there, yeah, it seems very fun. And even though I haven't played it, I'm looking forward to playing more of it. I've watched some people stream it a little bit. I'm like, this looks good. I'll on my side, I'll go to the community one last time then. B Traven said, please do not forget when ranking Sonic Frontiers that it invented the modern open world game, of course, like respect on name.
Open
Breath of the
zone
Wild
game.
who?
Excuse
Open
you.
zone. Gotta get
That
it
annoyed me
right.
so much. As someone who
And
actually
then
had to interview what's his face about that, I was like, oh god, please don't say open zone.
what, Felon Yuji Naka or someone else?
No, not Yuji Naka. The guy who's the director of these games. I can't remember his
Okay,
name. I'm
okay,
sorry.
gotcha. Uh and then Rumham says, laugh all you want. Sonic Frontiers is my favorite Sonic game. Music was awesome. Game was just straight up fun to play. And one of the only Sonics I've played that don't punish you for going fast. Which, yeah, I think it's like open enough that I would assume that's the case, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
you have a lot of room to run around with, and they've even fixed some of the annoyances in patches. I think even a recent patch, like there's like a thing where you would turn in those items to level up, and you used to have to do it one at a time. And they finally
Mhm.
made it so you can just do it in a bunch now, so that's nice.
That's
Uh,
right. As I'm talking here, I remember literally the reason that I was waiting to play this is because I'm
mhm.
waiting for someone, whether Sega or the fans, to mod into PC version. I want the draw distance pushed out.
Uh,
And I know someone will do it, but I
there's
just don't know when.
there's still weird decisions like every once in a while. It's like they try to do the blood moon from Breath of the Wild, but you had like
Mhm.
these items fall from the sky, and there's like a roulette, and the roulette actually covers up the screen in a way that it can make you fail boss fights and stuff, and you can't make it end. And all these
Yeah.
things do is like let you do the fishing mini game, and like you already have enough of those. It's annoying. So there's definitely just weird problems still.
Uh-huh.
But I still like this one quite a bit. I could even. I mean, I would probably put it above Sonic Heroes even. I know you've been fighting for Sonic Heroes, but
From what I've heard, that sounds right. Again, I'll sort of give you a bit of free reign here since I
yeah.
mean, you reviewed
I,
it and I haven't played all the way through it,
I
so I'll
could go
sort of
as
give you
far
free
as saying I
reign.
like it more than Sonic Adventure 2.
Okay.
I don't know if I again, maybe that's nostalgia, but I don't know if I'd put it in front of Sonic Adventure 1.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right because have heard some people detract from it a little bit. So that might be right.
Now that's all that's left to do is shuffle. And I'm sorry, Sean, but I don't think
I know
Sonic 2 is
the
beating
poll.
Sonic Generations. We that's
Yeah,
a
2-1, it's
wow.
beating it. So that
We
yep,
did it.
that's fairly definitive. There you go. All
So
right, Sonic Generations at number 6. That's fine. Still high on the list. I will say, now that we're getting at the end and we're just like moving everything into place here, so to speak. Sonic 1 over Sonic 3 still, huh?
yeah, I like
Okay.
Sonic 1, man. I like Sonic 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
died on a
Sonic
few
3
hills
is
tonight.
a
I think I
smidge
can give you that
overrated.
one.
A smidge. Not much, but definitely one of the best Sonic games.
Smidge. I would probably give you a smidge. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and for
So
people joining late, so we didn't talk about like those Game Gear or Master System games or some other spin-offs like Knuckles Chaotix or anything that's not a 3D platformer. We didn't include here.
yeah,
So
this is
there are
just
some
the
missing.
mainline platformers as we see them.
Yeah, and of course there's some gray room there. I'm going
Yeah.
to read this out for the audio listeners here, starting from top to bottom. Sonic games ranked number 1, Sonic Mania. Number 2, Sonic the Hedgehog, the original. Number 3, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Number 4, Sonic CD. Number 5, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Number 6, Sonic Generations. Number 7, Sonic Rush. Number 8, Sonic Adventure. Number 9, Sonic Frontiers. Number 10, Sonic Adventure 2. Number 11, Sonic Advance. Number 12, Sonic Heroes. Number 13, Sonic Advance 3. Number 14, Sonic 3D Blast. Number 15, Sonic Rush Adventure. Number 16, Sonic Advance 2. I bet that's one that's going to piss people off.
I can already see a little contention in the chat. Yes.
17, Sonic Unleashed. 18, Sonic Colors. Oh, that's going to piss people off. That's actually,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Oh
lower than I
yeah.
would have thought Colors would be. That's going to piss people off, but I stand by it. 19, Sonic in the Lost World. 20, Shadow the Hedgehog. 21, Sonic Forces. 22, Sonic in the Secret Rings. 23, Sonic in the Black Knight. 24, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. 25, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1. And 26, and last is Sonic the Hedgehog 2006.
To no one's surprise.
Yeah, it's not. I think this is a good list. I'm pretty happy with
I
this.
think this is a good list too. I'm happy with, especially as two people compromising,
Yeah,
on a
exactly.
list together, bringing their views together. I think this is a solid list.
I
Yes.
can't wait to ask Jeff what he thinks. Especially if
Jeff
Jeff-
is gonna print this out and take a literal dump on it
I hope
probably when he
so.
gets home. Yeah.
All right, Sean. I'm going to try to fix my OBS here to go back to the two of us. Why don't you talk a bit about what you've been playing?
Oh, Mike, before we get to that,
That's easy.
remember we do have some super chats that came in.
Oh,
So
that's
how about I
right.
get to those first?
Why don't you read those then? Are you ready? Are you prepared to read them?
Oh yeah, I got them pulled up here. Don't you
Do
worry.
it.
All right, from Burrito, we got all this Italian talk is fun and games till Mike declares himself a hard T racist.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Hard T ray tracist.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry,
Wait, why did I say that? I know. I was thinking about that. Wait, did I say problematic things in this
ray
podcast?
tracist? Yeah.
Did I call a
gotta make sure
fictional
don't
character the
mangle
B
words
word earlier?
here.
Man, all right.
Uriel Delgado says, Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. Can't stick around, have to keep moving on. That's about what $5 gets you. There you go,
There you go.
Ariel. I hope you enjoyed it.
Must keep on moving ahead. No time for
God
guessing.
for
Follow
guessing,
my
follow
plan
my
instead.
plan instead.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
okay. Sorry, we got to cut that out there. DMCI. B Traven says Jeff looks great tonight. Yeah, I know, shaved a little bit. It really cleans things up there. um, and then Booty Bandit says, "Hello, gents. Having replayed Unleashed recently on Series X with FPS boost, it's worth revisiting. Honestly, the worst aspects were the hub worlds. Thanks." And yeah, maybe.
I
I,
have heard
I,
that it does look pretty good with the boost, but
Oh, absolutely. I
yeah.
mean, yeah, like just playing Generations on PC for so long, I can definitely appreciate people playing the Unleashed segments or the daytime segments of Unleashed and just being like, wow, it's so smooth, it's so fluid. I've seen like I know John Lindemann over at Digital Foundry was like gushing over when it came out because he was like, finally, like the good parts of these games could actually shine a bit. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
that seems awesome. But that is all the super chats we have for the evening so far.
Yeah, if you guys want to squeeze out, and I know how much you all love squeezing things out, if you want to squeeze out a couple more super chats, we will read them before the show ends. We're getting close there. Sean, we've been going for a bit here, but is there any games you want to talk about that you've played?
Well, I've been on a slight Zelda kick lately because we did the Minish Cap Game Club. Like I said, that should be up tomorrow / today if you're listening to us on Friday. That was a lot of fun playing through that, and then I didn't love it as much as other people in the group, so I did go over and play the other Zelda game that was notably I haven't played through before, which was A Link Between Worlds, actually. Which, Mike, I don't know if you know this, Link Between Worlds kind of slaps.
It's an amazing game. Just
It's
like
so
watching you
good.
play Bedvet, I am like, I want to play this game again.
Yeah,
It's so good.
it's I would say it's like it's top 3 for me now. I think it goes for me, Breath of the Wild, Link's Awakening, A Link Between Worlds in terms of Zelda games. I think it squeaks above Wind Waker. I really,
Okay.
really had a good time with it. Then outside of that, in preparation for this, I started the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, that April Fool's Day game.
I
Uh,
played through that.
yeah.
It's
What do you
fun.
think?
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
good. Like
It's
you
a
know,
cute time,
yeah,
right?
it's a visual novel. There's like some light like mystery stuff with like the Phoenix Wright things. It's kind of no fail. And then you have those like deduction mini games where you're sort of playing this weird isometric Sonic auto runner, and that's kind of fun.
Yes, on your Dream Gear.
Yeah, so your Dream Gear.
Yeah.
It's a very pleasant, fun, well-meaning time, and can't beat the price. I think it's worth it for any Sonic fan. I would like to see more stuff like that. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that's about it right now. I will say on my streams, I'm wrapping up the Star Fox series playthrough. I did Star Fox Zero quite a while ago, but I'm going to do the bonus day where I play Dinosaur Planet and
Oh,
Guard and like
nice,
the weird ones soon. So that'll be fun too.
cool. I've also been on a Zelda kick because I also played Minish Cap. I came up. I came up on the end of liking it a good deal more. It's always been one of my favorite. Maybe not like the top favorite, but definitely one of them.
Hmm.
But after that, I was still in such a Zelda kick that I actually went back to Link to the Past because that's on NSO.
Ah,
I like Link to the Past a lot. I always have. It's a game I had played a lot of for a while, so that I kind of didn't really bother playing it the last few times it's been available on like the SNES Classic or on NSO for a while. But I finally went back to it now, and that is still a really fun game. You do, as much as I like
yeah,
Minish Cap, you do appreciate the pace of A Link to the Past. It does just kind of go and go, and it doesn't make you sort of do quote unquote chores in between dungeons. You have to get to the next dungeon, but that's really it. And you can do some other stuff to make yourself more powerful, like finding out how to temper your sword to make it stronger, or, get these extra
right,
bottles and things like that. But it's still just a lot of fun. It's harder than I
definitely.
remembered. Like I'm like,
Really?
oh, I really need to actually stock up on potions and stuff. You just take a lot of damage, and the armor that you can get armor, but they're just dungeon rewards in some of the dungeons. It's not like you can get those things early. You just get them when the game wants you to get them. And like your sword slash, compared to Minish Cap, or even like watching you play Link Between Worlds, it's like relatively
Yeah,
short. It's not it doesn't have an
it is.
amazing
Yeah.
range to it. So, but
kind of
still,
right in front of you. Whereas, yeah, like A Link Between Worlds, especially, there's this huge arc that Link does where it's
right.
sort of like, yeah, I was doing the treacherous tower. I guess the order of and I was just like kind of plowing through things because I was just like, just keeping enemies at bay with that giant arc.
Yeah, it feels good. You know, there are some things I'm surprised are like feel a little older. Mostly like the dungeons. I forget. I'm so used to like Zelda dungeons having these very specific aesthetic themes. And that's not
Yeah,
really the case in Link to the Past. They all kind of just look
yeah,
like dungeons. It's like not this big problem, but I do appreciate it in say a Minish Cap how these dungeons have like these unique tile sets and these unique kind of knickknacks and
right.
furnishings that
But
kind of
that's definitely drawing upon what Ocarina
for
started,
sure.
and then like Wind Waker and stuff
Yeah.
continued.
Mhm. But yeah, it's still a Link to the Past. It's great, but I am kind of feeling that
Fantastic
urge.
game.
I'm feeling that urge to play Link Between Worlds again. Only other thing I want to talk about briefly here is that I am playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, and it is
Yeah.
just fantastic. I am absolutely in love with it. It is so much fun. Every single enemy encounter is exciting and fun. I'm kind of like a good way into the castle section now, and I just love the way this castle looks. I still can't believe how good the RE engine is able to make character models look and just like the incidental animation even. It's
Yeah.
everything just comes together so well in this. I've been realizing this over the last 6 months, but I think I really like Resident Evil now. It's a good series, man.
So you haven't beat it yet, right?
I haven't beat it yet. I'm
Okay.
I'm, I'm like a good way through the castle.
All right. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but like initially, just as a guy who like tends to like the older school of game philosophy, how does it compare to the original for you? Do you like it better? You like it slightly less? How are you feeling about it?
I might even like it better. I might. I
Okay.
think a lot of the things here are smart. Look. I mean, I know I defend tank control sometimes. It's better to just move around and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Not having QTEs, then that's an improvement. Even just
Yeah.
small things like when people call you on your radio, it's just like a box on the bottom while you're walking around. It doesn't do like the Metal Gear codec call, stopping the game, kind of a
Right.
thing. And it just
Yeah.
it just looks really pretty. I like that they are still distinct enough that they are two separate things. But and again, it's been a while since I played the original, but it'd be hard to imagine really preferring that to this. This just feels fantastic.
Sounds about right to me. Yeah.
All right, Sean, I think I'm going to start playing some music here. Hopefully, this is the
Okay.
right file. I'm going to actually, let's see.
Yeah, you tell me. I can't hear
Oh,
it.
that's the intro. Oh, that says intro. I can do this. Don't worry. Outro. There it is. All right, I did it. First
All
try.
right.
I just got to get your face back in here now. All right, Sean, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
They can find me on Twitter at TurboSean _ and on Twitch and YouTube as TurboSean, SHAWN. I stream Monday through Friday on my Twitch channel at around 3 Central. Mostly Nintendo stuff, including a lot of Pokemon, such as Pokemon competitive TCG. I play in tournaments on Mondays. If that sounds interesting to you, come on over. I help explain things to newcomers as well. So it's always a fun, cozy time. Like I said, just wrapped up the Star Fox series playthrough a little bit ago, and then got off a Zelda kick. That's going up on YouTube. And then on Tuesday, I should be starting the Pokemon Living Dex quest, my quest to get all 1010, is it now, Pokemon, by
God.
playing through every single generation and
Wow.
getting one of each. I need one of each of the 1000 something. So that's going to be a
Back
long
in my
project.
day,
I'm
there
looking
was
forward to it.
150 Pokemon, and then they said there was 151. We didn't believe it.
Didn't check under that truck.
No. Well, Sean, thank you so much for joining me, filling in for Jeff. Jeff will be back on Tuesday, I believe, so we'll be able to talk to him about his journeys, his adventures, and his travels. It'll be a good time. So that'll be Tuesday for Last of the Nintendogs. Till then, hey, 90s Disney has a new episode out about Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow, which is a perhaps not super prolific 16-bit Disney game, but one that you should check out anyways. It was a good time. Gosh, yeah, I guess this is how Jeff panics too when he's done doing his outro and the music is still playing and not getting louder yet. Say something else,
We
Sean.
vamp. We just vamp.
Let's
we chat.
vamp.
Yeah, it's a
That's
good
my favorite
episode,
Metal Gear
right?
Solid 2 boss.
Oh, yeah. Covert vamp.
Covert
Yeah, I
Vamp.
gotta love
I heard
it.
Tamor was on the Besties talking about Metal Gear Solid 2 not too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on him.
MGS,
it's
good
just
series.
embarrassing. I kind of don't want people to find it, but I did like a video essay like 10 years ago about why Metal Gear Solid 2 was bad.
Oh,
and like that
people are gonna be looking
that
for
was
that.
before the reception switched. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you later. Oh, that's the wrong one. There it is. We're not starting soon. Get out of here. There we go.